As night gently falls and the world outside slowly grows quiet, this is the time for us to set aside the worries of a long day. Let your soul rest in the gentle peace of God, like a child returning to the loving arms of the Father. In this moment, you do not need to hurry. You do not need to keep trying or carrying anything more. Take a slow, gentle breath. Relax your shoulders and allow every tired feeling in your heart to softly fade away. God is still here, quietly watching over you, protecting you, and blessing every small part of your everyday life. Perhaps today was an ordinary day, filled with familiar work, quiet steps, small smiles, or even moments that made your heart feel weary. But in God's eyes, no day is meaningless. Every morning you wake up, every simple meal, every road you walk, and every person you meet can be a gentle gift that He places into your life. Before we enter tonight's story, let us become still for a small prayer. Loving God, on this peaceful night, I give you all my worries, my tiredness, and everything that is still unfinished in my heart. Please forgive me for the ways I have fallen short today. Heal the things that make me feel uneasy, and fill my soul with your gentle peace. Please watch over my sleep, protect my family, and pour your blessings upon our everyday lives. No matter what tomorrow may bring, I trust that you are always beside me, guiding me with love, light, and mercy. Tonight, I rest in your loving arms. Please let my heart be still, my mind be calm, and my soul be at peace. I thank you for the day that has passed, for the small blessings I have received, and for your love that never leaves me. Amen. And now, let us step into a story that is slow and gentle, where everyday life is covered by the peaceful light of God. A story without noise, without hurry, filled only with stillness, gratitude, and the quiet faith that no matter what tomorrow brings, God will always guide the way, always love you, and always bless you. Close your eyes now, if you are ready. Let your breathing become softer, let your heart become calmer, and let your soul rest in the loving presence of God. Welcome, dear soul, to the quiet sanctuary of this autumn morning. As you close your eyes and settle into the warmth of your resting place, allow the heavy burdens of the waking world to gently slip away from your shoulders. There is nowhere else you need to be right now. There is nothing else you need to do. You are held in the palm of the Creator's hand, safe, cherished, and entirely at peace. Take a deep, slow breath in, filling your lungs with the calm, steady rhythm of this moment. And as you exhale, release any lingering tension, any worries from yesterday, and any anxieties about tomorrow. Breathe in the stillness. Breathe out the noise. Let your body sink deeper and deeper into the comfort beneath you, feeling completely supported by the earth and by the boundless love of God. Imagine yourself waking up slowly in a spacious, cozy room inside an antique farmhouse. This house has stood for generations, a silent witness to countless seasons, weathering storms and basking in the sunshine, held firm by its deep, sturdy roots. Much like your faith, it is built on a solid foundation that cannot be easily moved. You are wrapped in a thick, weighted quilt, soft against your skin, providing a profound sense of security and warmth against the crisp autumn chill that lingers in the air outside. The room is quiet, save for the rhythmic, comforting ticking of an old grandfather clock down the hall, a gentle reminder that time is moving slowly here, unhurried and perfectly aligned with God's divine timing. Beyond the frosted window panes of your room, the world is just beginning to stir. The deep, velvety indigo of the night sky is slowly yielding to the delicate, pastel hues of dawn. Soft ribbons of lavender, pale pink, and muted gold stretch across the horizon, painting the heavens with a masterpiece crafted by the master artist himself. This is the very first light of grace breaking through the darkness, whispering a silent promise that his mercies are new every morning. As the light gently filters through the lace curtains, it casts soft, dancing shadows across the worn, wooden floorboards of your room. Every groove and imperfection in the wood tells a story of a life well lived, a reminder that God's grace is found not in flawlessness, but in the beautiful, weathered reality of our daily existence. The air in the room carries the faintest, sweetest scent of the season. It is the aroma of dried pine needles, old parchment, and a hint of wood smoke from a hearth that burned gently through the night. This fragrance is grounding, anchoring your spirit to the present moment. You can almost taste the crisp, clean breath of autumn slipping through the cracks of the old window frame. It is a refreshing, pure breath of air, reminding you of the breath of life that God breathed into humanity at the very dawn of creation. With every inhalation, imagine drawing in His perfect peace. With every exhalation, surrender your earthly cares to His infinite wisdom. And outside, the antique farm is wrapped in a thick, silvery blanket of morning mist. The rolling hills, the dormant fields, and the ancient, sprawling oak trees are all veiled in this quiet, ethereal fog. It is as if the entire earth is hushed in reverence, bowing before the Creator as a new day begins. The mist softens the edges of the world, blurring the harsh lines of reality and inviting you into a space of gentle reflection. In this sacred silence, the voice of the Lord is not in a windstorm nor in an earthquake, but in a gentle, still whisper. It is a whisper that speaks directly to your heart, telling you that you are entirely loved, completely forgiven, and carefully watched over. As the golden sun inches higher above the distant tree line, its rays begin to pierce through the morning mist, turning the dewdrops on the window pane into 1,000 tiny, sparkling diamonds. This light is soft and golden, a warm embrace from the heavens. It touches your face, bringing a soothing warmth that seeps deep into your skin, relaxing the muscles in your forehead, soothing your eyes, and releasing the tension in your jaw. Let this heavenly light wash over you, a physical manifestation of God's protective presence. You are safe here, in this quiet farmhouse, far away from the rushing demands of the modern world. You are hidden under the shadow of His wings. The silence of the farm is not empty. It is deeply rich and profoundly full. It is the kind of quiet that allows your soul to finally rest and repair. You might hear the distant, muffled sound of a rooster greeting the dawn, or the soft rustling of dry, golden leaves dancing across the porch, swept up by an invisible, playful breeze. These are the gentle sounds of creation waking up, simple and unhurried. They do not demand your attention. Rather, they invite you to simply exist alongside them, harmonious and content. God's presence is intimately woven into these small, seemingly ordinary details. He is in the rustle of the leaves, the quiet settling of the old house, and the steady, calming rhythm of your own heartbeat. Lay here for a moment longer, enveloped in this divine stillness. Allow the reality of God's unchanging nature to anchor your thoughts. The seasons change, the leaves fall, the cold winds blow, yet His love remains steadfast and immovable. Just as this antique farm has stood the test of time, sheltered by the changing seasons, your spirit is sheltered by His enduring grace. There is no need to rush into the day. The fields will wait, The work will wait. For now, simply bask in the first light of this autumn morning. Let the warmth of the quilt, the beauty of the dawn, and the profound peace of the Holy Spirit minister to your weary mind. You are entering this day wrapped in His blessings, equipped with His strength, and guided by His unwavering light. Rest in this truth. Rest in His grace. As the first light of dawn fully establishes its gentle reign over the antique farm, it is time to slowly rise and step out into the embracing arms of the morning. There is no urgency in your movements. Every step you take is deliberate, grounded, and deeply connected to the present moment. You wrap a thick, knitted shawl around your shoulders, a soft, comforting layer that holds the warmth of the house close to your chest. As you walk toward the heavy oak door of the farmhouse, your bare feet glide across the smooth, worn floorboards. You can feel the history in this wood, the countless quiet mornings that have passed through this hallway, all leading to this very moment of perfect, orchestrated peace. You reach out and turn the cool, brass doorknob. The door opens with a soft, familiar creak, a sound that feels like an old friend welcoming you into the day. As you step out onto the expansive, wraparound porch, you are immediately greeted by the breathtaking breath of autumn. Take a moment here. Stand perfectly still. Close your eyes once more and simply breathe. Draw the crisp, invigorating air deep into your lungs. It is cool, carrying a pristine clarity that seems to instantly wash away the fog of sleep. This air is a gift. It is the breath of the Creator, sweeping across the rolling hills, moving through the valleys, and arriving right here, just for you. With every inhalation, you are breathing in the essence of the season, the earthy aroma of damp soil, the faint, sweet perfume of drying grasses, and the rich, complex scent of the orchard that lies just beyond the home paddock. With every exhalation, you release any remaining tightness in your chest. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. You are safe. You are surrounded by a landscape that has been carefully, lovingly designed by God, a testament to His enduring faithfulness. The world out here does not rush. The seasons do not hurry. They unfold in their own divine time, trusting the Maker's hand. And in this moment, you are invited to do exactly the same. You slowly descend the wooden steps of the porch, your boots meeting the soft, dew-kissed grass of the yard. The earth feels solid and supportive beneath you. A narrow, winding path, paved with smooth, flat river stones, leads you away from the farmhouse and toward the apple orchard. The stones are cool and damp, and small patches of bright green moss grow in the crevices between them. This path has been walked by generations of faithful hands, people who understood the rhythm of planting and harvesting, of waiting and receiving. As you follow their footsteps, you are joined to a quiet, enduring lineage of trust. Ahead of you stands an old, wrought iron gate, its dark surface beautifully weathered and softened by years of rain and sun. It marks the entrance to the orchard, a sacred threshold between the open fields and the sheltered canopy of the trees. You place your hand on the cool iron latch. It lifts with a satisfying metallic clink, and the gate swings inward on its hinges, offering a soft, melodic squeak that dissipates into the quiet morning air. You step through, leaving the open yard behind, and enter a sanctuary of a different kind. Welcome to the orchard. Immediately, the atmosphere shifts. The light here is filtered, broken into 1,000 soft, golden shards by the intricate canopy of leaves above. The trees are ancient, their trunks thick and gnarled, twisting upward in magnificent, silent praise to the heavens. Their bark is rough and deeply textured, a beautiful tapestry of gray, brown, and and silver. Run your hand gently along the trunk of the nearest tree. Feel the grooves, the ridges, the scars of past winters and fierce winds. Yet, despite the storms it has weathered, the tree stands firm. Its roots reach deep into the dark, nourishing earth, holding fast to the hidden streams of water below. Let this ancient tree be a reminder to your own spirit. There are seasons in life where the winds blow cold, where the rain beats down, and where the branches feel bare. But just like this tree, your roots are planted in the infinite love of God. You are grounded in a soil of grace that never depletes. Because of His deep, hidden nourishment, you can weather any season. You can stand strong, knowing that the foundation beneath you will never, ever give way. Relax deeply into this truth. Let the security of God's love anchor your soul, just as the roots anchor the ancient apple tree. Look up into the canopy. The branches are heavy, bowing low under the incredible weight of the autumn harvest. Everywhere you look, there is an overwhelming display of abundance. The apples are jewels hanging in the crisp air, deep ruby reds, bright, vibrant crimsons, and soft, blushing pinks that fade into pale gold. They are perfectly round, polished by the morning dew, gleaming like precious stones in the filtered sunlight. This abundance is not an accident. It is the culmination of months of quiet, invisible work. God has overseen every detail of this harvest. He sent the gentle rains of spring to wake the dormant buds. He provided the warm, golden sunshine of summer to ripen the fruit. He commanded the bees to dance from blossom to blossom. He protected the delicate blossoms from the late frosts. Through all the long months of waiting, when the branches seemed to offer nothing but green leaves, God was working. He was patiently, steadily bringing forth this magnificent bounty. In your own life, there are long seasons of waiting. There are times when it feels as though nothing is happening, when your prayers seem to linger in the quiet air, and when the fruit of your labor is nowhere to be seen. But as you stand here in the middle of this abundant orchard, let the heavy branches speak peace to your heart. God is always working in the waiting. His timing is perfect, and His provision is sure. He is preparing a harvest in your life that is richer, sweeter, and more abundant than you could ever imagine. You do not need to force it. You do not need to rush it. You only need to trust the One who holds the seasons in His hands. The air in the orchard is profoundly still, yet it is alive with the gentle, subtle symphony of nature. A soft breeze, carrying the unmistakable chill of late autumn, weaves its way through the rows of trees. It rustles the leaves, creating a sound like a collective, peaceful sigh. Shh, the leaves seem to whisper. Shh, be still, be at peace. As the breeze passes, a single golden leaf detaches itself from a high branch. Watch it as it falls. It does not plummet, it dances. It drifts slowly side to side, tracing a lazy, graceful path through the air before coming to a quiet, weightless rest on the damp grass below. There is no struggle in the falling. The tree does not cling desperately to the leaf, and the leaf does not fight the gentle pull of the earth. It is a perfect picture of surrender. As you watch the leaves fall, one by one, allow yourself to practice this same beautiful surrender. What are you holding tightly to today? What worries, what fears, what desires for control are causing your hands to clench and your heart to ache? Imagine those heavy burdens as dry autumn leaves. See them detaching from your spirit. Watch them gently, peacefully drift away, carried by the breath of the Holy Spirit, falling safely onto the ground where God will take care of them. You do not need to carry the weight of the world. You only need to be held by the one who created it. Let go. Surrender. Breathe deeply and let the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, guard your heart and your mind. As you walk deeper into the rose, the scent of the orchard becomes intoxicating. It is a rich, complex perfume, the sweet, sharp tang of ripe fruit still clinging to the branch, mixed with a deep, cider-like aroma of fallen apples returning to the earth. It smells of sunshine and rain, of hard work and sweet rest. It is the scent of completion. The cycle of the year has reached its peak, and now it is time to gather, to give thanks, and to prepare for rest. Take a moment to pick an apple straight from the branch. Your fingers wrap around its smooth, cool surface. With a gentle twist, it snaps free. Feel the weight of it in your palm. It is solid, heavy with sweet juice and the promise of nourishment. Bring it close and inhale its fragrance. This single piece of fruit is a miracle. From a tiny seed buried in the dark, to a fragile sapling, to a towering tree, to a delicate white blossom, and finally to this perfect red apple. God's hand has guided every single step. If He takes such meticulous, loving care of an apple tree in a quiet orchard, how much more does He care for you, His beloved child? He knows the exact number of hairs on your head. He catches every tear you cry. He guides every step you take. You are deeply, profoundly cherished. Hold that thought close as you continue your slow, unhurried walk. The ground beneath your feet is a soft carpet of green grass, dotted with the fallen leaves of crimson and gold. Every footfall is muffled, quieted by the earth. This is holy ground, not because of where it is, but because of who is present here. The Lord of all creation is walking with you in the cool of the morning. His presence is the deep, abiding stillness that settles over the orchard. It is the warmth of the sunbeam that manages to break through the canopy and land perfectly on your cheek. It is the gentle peace that is currently washing over your mind, slowing your racing thoughts, and untangling the knots of anxiety in your chest. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to do. The emails can wait. The tasks can wait. The demands of the world cannot reach you here, in this sheltered sanctuary of God's love. Here, you're simply a child of God, walking in His garden, enjoying the beauty of His creation. Let the rhythm of your breathing sync with the gentle, swaying rhythm of the trees. Inhale deeply, slowly, drawing in the sweet breath of autumn. Exhale completely, utterly, letting go of everything that is not peace. Inhale the steadfast love of the Lord. Exhale all fear and doubt. Inhale rest. Exhale weariness. As you reach the far edge of the orchard, the trees begin to thin, and you find a rustic wooden bench nestled beneath the sweeping branches of the oldest apple tree on the farm. The wood of the bench is smooth, polished by the elements and by the countless individuals who have sat here before to find a moment of quiet reflection. You sit down, the bench supporting your weight completely. You lean back against the sturdy trunk of the great tree behind you. It feels like leaning back into the strong, unwavering embrace of the Father. From this vantage point, you can look back over the rows of trees you just walked through. The morning mist has mostly burned off now, leaving the air incredibly clear and sharp. The orchard looks like a painting, a masterpiece of light and shadow, color and texture. It is a silent sermon on the goodness of God. He is a God of abundance. He is a God of beauty. He is a God of rest. Close your eyes as you sit on the bench. Feel the cool autumn breeze against your face. Listen to the very distant, muffled sound of a bird calling in the woods beyond. Feel the solid earth beneath your feet and the sturdy trunk behind your back. You are completely supported. You are entirely safe. Allow the profound stillness of the orchard to sink deep into your bones. Let it quiet your mind. Let it soothe your spirit. Rest here. Rest in the breathtaking beauty of the autumn orchard. Rest in the unshakable, everlasting love of your Creator. He is with you. He is for you. And in His presence, there is perfect, eternal peace. As you rest upon the weathered wooden bench, allowing the deep peace of the orchard to settle fully into your bones, your eyes fall upon an object resting gently in the tall grass beside you. It is a large, woven gathering basket. Reach down slowly and let your fingertips trace the woven willow branches. The wood is smooth, polished by decades of honest work and the gentle friction of calloused, faithful hands. You can feel the intricate pattern of the weave, under and over, strong and flexible. It is a beautiful reminder of how God weaves the seemingly disconnected moments of our lives together, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the trials, into a sturdy, purposeful vessel designed to carry His grace. Grasp the thick, curved handle of the basket. It feels perfectly molded to the shape of your hand, as if it has been waiting precisely for you to take it up this morning. Slowly, with no sense of rush, you rise from the bench. Your legs feel strong and rested. The morning sun has climbed just a little higher above the tree line now, and its golden rays pierce through the canopy, wrapping around your shoulders like a warm, comforting blanket. You take a deep, grounding breath. The crisp autumn air fills your lungs, revitalizing your spirit. You exhale softly, letting the sound merge with the quiet rustling of the leaves above. Step back into the rows of ancient apple trees. The grass beneath your boots is soft, yielding slightly with every deliberate footfall. You lift the basket and step up to the closest tree, a majestic giant whose branches bow deeply toward the earth, heavy with fruit. It is time to begin the quiet, sacred work of the morning. This is not a chore. It is an act of moving meditation, a physical prayer of thanksgiving. Look up into the canopy and select an apple. Lift your arm slowly. Feel the gentle stretch in your side, the awakening of your muscles. Your hand reaches out, and your fingers wrap around the cool, smooth skin of a deep red apple. It sits nestled among a cluster of dark green and yellowing leaves. With a very gentle, deliberate twist of your wrist, the stem cleanly snaps away from the branch. Bring the apple down and hold it in both hands for just a moment. Look at it closely. Notice the tiny, natural speckles on its skin, the subtle gradient of color where the sun kissed it most warmly. This single piece of fruit is a tangible, physical manifestation of God's provision. It is the result of rain, soil, sunshine, and divine timing, all conspiring together to bring forth sustenance. As you lower your hands and gently place the apple into the bottom of the woven basket, hear the soft, dull thud it makes against the willow wood. Let that sound be a trigger for gratitude. With this first apple, consciously name a blessing in your life. It can be something as grand as the gift of salvation, or something as simple as the breath currently filling your lungs. Say it silently in your mind. Lord, I thank you for the gift of peace today. Move to the next apple. Reach up, twist gently, feel the cool weight in your palm, and place it in the basket. Hear the sound, thud. Name another blessing. Lord, thank you for the roof over my head. Reach for a third. Twist, hold, and gently lower it into the basket. Thud. Lord, I thank you for the people who love me. Allow yourself to fall into this slow, rhythmic pattern. Step, reach, twist, hold, lower, release. Step, reach, twist, hold, lower, release. With every motion, you are actively gathering the goodness of God. The physical repetition of the work begins to quiet your mind completely. The endless loop of thoughts, the anxieties about the future, the regrets of the past, they all begin to fade away, replaced entirely by the singular focus of the present moment. Here, in this orchard, there is only the tree, the fruit, the basket, and the quiet presence of your Creator. As you move slowly down the row, the dappled sunlight plays across your face and hands. You are entirely immersed in the gentle symphony of the harvest. The rustling of the leaves as you brush past them, the snap of the stems, the soft rolling of the apples as they settle against one another in the basket. Breathe in the sweet, earthy fragrance. Exhale a prayer of thanks. You do not need to strive today. You do not need to earn this harvest. The tree grew without your effort. The sun shone without your command. The rain fell without your permission. All of this abundance was prepared for you ahead of time. Your only task is to open your hands and receive it. Notice how some of the apples are high up, requiring you to stretch just a little further, reminding you to reach toward the heavens, to elevate your thoughts above earthly worries. Other apples hang so low they almost touch the grass, requiring you to bow your head and bend your knees. This, too, is a spiritual posture. It is a reminder of humility, a gentle nudge to bow before the majestic authority of the Father. Whether you are reaching high in moments of triumph or bowing low in moments of need, His provision is there, waiting to be gathered. As your hands move among the leaves, you come across an apple that is not perfectly round. It has a slight bruise on one side, and perhaps a rough, misshapen patch on its skin. Do not bypass it. Reach out and cradle this imperfect fruit in your hand. Feel the uneven texture. This apple is just as sweet, just as nourishing as the flawless ones. In fact, it is a profound reflection of our own human condition. We come to God carrying our own bruises. We carry the scars of past mistakes, the rough patches of broken relationships, the misshapen parts of our hearts that we try so desperately to hide from the world. But God does not walk past us. He does not cast us aside in search of someone perfect. Instead, He reaches into the tangled branches of our lives, takes us gently in His hands, and claims us as His own. He sees the bruises, and He loves us still. His grace covers our imperfections. His mercy is drawn to our brokenness. Gently place the bruised apple into the basket. It belongs here. It is part of the harvest. Let this simple act minister deep comfort to your soul. You are loved exactly as you are, imperfections and all. You are perfectly safe in the Master's hands. The basket is beginning to grow heavy now. You can feel the weight of it pulling gently on your arm. But this is not a burdensome weight. It is a grounding, comforting weight. It is the physical weight of God's goodness. How often do we complain about the emptiness of our hands, simply because we have forgotten to count what we are already holding? Feel the heaviness of the basket. Let it anchor you to reality. Your life, despite its challenges, is heavy with the blessings of the Lord. Pause for a moment in the middle of the row. Set the heavy basket down in the soft grass. Stand up straight and place your hands on the small of your back, stretching your spine. Roll your shoulders backward, releasing any tension that may have gathered there. Tilt your head back and look straight up through the lattice of the branches into the clear, blue autumn sky. The sky is a vast, endless dome of azure, so deep and pure that it seems to pull you upward. Take a long, deep breath in, filling your abdomen, your ribs, and your upper chest. Hold that breath for just a moment, savoring the stillness. And as you exhale, let out a soft sigh. Feel the cool air wash over your face. The warmth of the sun acts as a soothing balm on your skin. Listen to the profound quiet of the farm. The cattle are silent. The wind has settled. It is as if all of creation is holding its breath, simply watching you. Honoring this quiet moment of communion between you and your Maker, look down at the basket at your feet. It is full. It is overflowing with a beautiful, vibrant mosaic of reds, golds, and greens. The scent rising from it is rich and sweet, the absolute essence of autumn. You have gathered enough. You do not need to take every single apple from the trees. You leave some behind for the birds of the air and the creatures of the woods, trusting in the biblical principle of leaving the corners of your field for others. There is enough here to sustain you. There is enough here to share. Crouch down beside the basket. Rest your hand gently on the top layer of the harvested fruit. Close your eyes and bow your head in the dappled sunlight. Offer a silent prayer of profound gratitude. Father, thank you for the harvest. Thank you for the quiet, invisible ways you work in the seasons of my life. Thank you for the times of waiting and the times of gathering. Help me to carry the weight of your blessings with a humble and grateful heart. When I feel empty, remind me of this basket. Remind me that your hands are always open and your provision is always enough. Grant me the deep, abiding peace of knowing that I am completely cared for. You open your eyes. The orchard seems even brighter now, the colors more vivid, the air more pure. Your soul feels lighter, unburdened from the anxieties of scarcity. You have seen, touched, and gathered the evidence of God's faithful love. Slowly, carefully, you grip the sturdy willow handle with both hands. You lift the heavy basket, feeling the satisfying pull in your muscles. You turn away from the dense canopy of the apple trees and begin to walk back toward the path, back toward the wrought iron gate. The rhythm of your walk is slower now, grounded by the weight of the harvest. Ahead of you, beyond the perimeter of the orchard, the landscape opens up. The sun has risen high enough to illuminate the vast expanse of the neighboring fields. It is a sea of golden wheat, waiting patiently for its own time of gathering. The gentle breeze returns, sweeping across the open space, and the golden stalks begin to ripple and wave, an ocean of amber beneath the morning sky. As you carry your basket of blessings out of the shaded orchard and step into the brilliant, open light, your heart is perfectly calm. Your mind is exceptionally quiet, and your spirit is fully prepared to witness the next beautiful unfolding of this autumn day. You step through the antique wrought iron gate, leaving the dappled shade of the apple orchard behind. You secure the heavy basket of harvested fruit in the cool shade just inside the gate, knowing it will be safe there until you return. Now, unburdened and walking with an effortless stride, you follow the worn dirt path that skirts the edge of the property. The farmhouse sits quietly behind you, a distant sanctuary, as you move toward the vast, open expanse that dominates the southern side of the farm. As you crest a small, gentle rise in the land, the view unfolds before you like a majestic, breathing tapestry. Stretching out as far as the eye can see, under the brilliant dome of the morning sky, lies the great wheat field. It is a breathtaking ocean of gold, a landscape entirely transformed by the turning of the season. The green of summer has been entirely consumed, replaced by deep, rich hues of amber, ochre, and burnished bronze. Stand perfectly still at the edge of this golden sea. Close your eyes and allow the sensory experience of this open space to wash over you. The air here feels different than in the orchard. It is warmer, more expansive, and carries the dry, earthy scent of sun-baked stalks and fertile dust. Take a slow, deep breath in. Feel the sheer magnitude of the space filling your lungs, expanding your chest, and stretching the boundaries of your spirit. Exhale slowly, releasing the breath into the vastness before you. Out here, there are no walls, no constraints, no urgent demands. There's only the earth, the sky, and the profound, humbling presence of the Creator. A soft, steady breeze begins to sweep across the open land. Listen closely as it meets the edge of the field. It begins as a low, sweeping murmur, a gentle whisper that travels across the golden heads of grain. Shh. The sound is continuous, rhythmic, and incredibly soothing. It is like the sound of distant breaking waves on a quiet shore, a natural white noise designed by God to quiet an anxious mind. Open your eyes and watch the wind as it moves. You cannot see the wind itself, but you can see its beautiful, invisible hand pressing gently upon the field. The stalks of wheat bow in graceful, rolling waves, dipping and swaying in perfect unison. They do not resist the wind, they yield to it entirely. They bend low, their heavy, grain-filled heads touching the stalks beside them, creating ripples of light and shadow that race across the landscape. This magnificent bowing field is a profound portrait of faith. For months, these seeds lay buried in the dark, cold earth, completely unseen and forgotten by the world above. They endured the freezing rains of early spring. They pushed through the heavy soil, fragile and vulnerable. They stretched upward during the long, scorching days of summer, enduring the heat, relying entirely on the moisture hidden deep within the ground. They could not see the harvest. They could not see the golden finish line. They simply grew, day by day, responding to the light of the sun and the provision of the soil. Now, standing tall in grain, they bow gracefully to the autumn wind. They are a testament to the beauty of endurance. Wait on the Lord, the rustling stalks seem to whisper to you as the breeze sweeps past. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Think about the seasons of waiting in your own life. Think about the prayers you have prayed in the dark, the hopes you have buried deep within your heart, waiting for them to break through the surface. It is so easy to grow weary when the growth is invisible. It is so easy to become anxious when the summer heat bears down and the harvest seems impossibly far away. But look at the field. Look at the magnificent result of quiet, unseen growth. God is the master farmer. He knows exactly what he is doing in the soil of your life. The dark times are not a sign of his absence. They are the necessary environment for deep roots to take hold. The waiting is not a punishment. It is the sacred space where true endurance is forged. When you feel buried, remember the wheat. You are not buried, you are planted. And the one who planted you watches over you with unceasing vigilance. Step off the dirt path and walk slowly into the very edge of the field. The stalks come up to your waist, brushing gently against your clothes. Reach out your hand and let your fingers trail lightly over the top of the grain. The heads of wheat are dry and textured, slightly prickly, but warm from the sun. The stalks are remarkably strong, thick and resilient, designed to carry the heavy weight of the grain without snapping. Pluck a single head of wheat and hold it in the palm of your hand. Roll it gently between your thumb and forefinger. Feel the hard, densely packed kernels inside the chaff. This tiny, unassuming head of wheat contains the power of sustenance. Ground down, it becomes flour. Mixed with water and fire, it becomes bread. It is the very foundation of life, a humble offering that God uses to feed the world. Jesus often used the imagery of the field to speak to his followers. He called himself the bread of life. He spoke of seeds falling on good soil and producing a harvest 100-fold. As you stand here, surrounded by millions of these golden stalks, let the reality of his words sink deep into your soul. You are walking through a living parable. The physical world around you is declaring a spiritual truth. God's provision is not just enough, it is overflowing. The sheer volume of the grain in this single field is staggering. It is more than one person could ever consume. It speaks of a God whose generosity knows no bounds, whose grace is poured out in lavish, unmeasured quantities. You do not serve a God of scarcity. You serve a God of limitless abundance. When you worry about tomorrow, when you fear that you will not have what you need, whether it is physical provision, emotional strength, or spiritual wisdom, look at the golden field. If he cares for the grain that is here today and gone tomorrow, how much more will he care for you, his beloved creation? The breeze picks up slightly, swirling around you, rustling the stalks with a more insistent, yet entirely gentle shh. Shh. Close your eyes again. Tilt your face upward, letting the golden sunlight bathe your eyelids in a soft, warm glow. Let the sound of the rustling wheat wash over you, drowning out any lingering thoughts or worries. Imagine that this wind is the breath of the Holy Spirit, blowing gently through the fields of your mind. As it moves, it is sweeping away the chaff, the useless anxieties, the unfounded fears, the heavy burdens you were never meant to carry. Let them be blown away. Watch them scatter into the vast, open sky, disappearing completely. What remains is only the heavy, valuable grain, the truth of God's word, the reality of his love, the solid foundation of your faith. You are standing firm in his grace. As you stand with your eyes closed, immersed in the sound and the warmth, you begin to feel a profound sense of smallness. But it is not a terrifying smallness. It is a deeply comforting one. The field is so large, the sky is so vast, and the Creator who made it all is so infinitely great. You realize that you do not need to be big or strong or in control of everything. It is entirely okay to be small. It is okay to be just one single stalk in the grand, magnificent field of God's design. Your responsibility is not to manage the wind or to dictate the seasons. Your only responsibility is to remain rooted in his love, to grow in his light, and to trust his timing. Relinquish the desperate need to control your circumstances. Release the tight grip you have on your life. Let your shoulders drop completely. Unclench your jaw. Relax the muscles in your forehead. You are safe. The master farmer is watching over his field. He knows every stalk. He sees every sparrow that flies overhead. He knows the exact moment when the harvest will be ready. Stay here for a few moments longer. Let the rhythm of the wind and the swaying of the wheat become the rhythm of your own breathing. Inhale the warm, golden air. Exhale your surrender. Inhale his profound peace. Exhale your worldly striving. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes. The sea of amber stretches out before you, glowing with a soft, radiant light as the morning progresses. You take one last, lingering look at the boundless horizon, anchoring this feeling of expansive peace deep within your heart. With a quiet, grateful sigh, you turn back toward the dirt path, ready to continue your gentle journey through the antique farm, your spirit as calm and settled as the golden field resting under the autumn sun. Leaving the vast, whispering expanse of the golden wheat field behind, you slowly make your way back along the winding dirt path. The morning has fully bloomed now, yet the air retains that crisp, invigorating edge unique to late autumn. Your steps are unhurried, matching the slow, deliberate heartbeat of the antique farm. There is a deep, resonant peace that has settled over your spirit, a quietness that makes you acutely aware of the subtle, beautiful life moving all around you. You are not alone in this sanctuary. You are surrounded by companions in creation, fellow living beings who share this earth and rest entirely in the care of the same loving Maker. As you walk, the path curves gently toward the rolling green pastures that lie just below the main barns. Running alongside the path is an old, split-rail wooden fence. It is a rustic boundary, built by hand many years ago. The wooden rails are covered in intricate patches of pale green lichen and silvery gray moss, softening the harsh edges of the timber. You reach out and let your fingertips glide over the rough, weathered wood as you walk. It grounds you, a physical connection to the simple, enduring architecture of this place. You pause and lean your arms comfortably against the top rail of the fence, resting your chin on your hands. Before you stretches a gentle, sloping meadow, still partially veiled in a thin, ethereal layer of morning mist that clings stubbornly to the hollows of the land. Moving quietly through this mist is a small flock of sheep. They are scattered across the green hillside like soft, white clouds that have descended from the sky to graze upon the earth. Take a moment to simply watch them. There is no rush. Breathe in the cool air and let the sheer tranquility of the scene wash over you. The sheep move with a slow, collective rhythm. They do not hurry. They do not strive. Their heads are bowed to the earth, engaged in the simple, necessary act of receiving the nourishment that has been provided for them. Listen closely. Beneath the absolute silence of the morning, you can hear the incredibly soothing, rhythmic sound of their grazing. Tear, chew, step, tear, chew, step. It is a soft, muffled sound, a steady percussion of life sustaining itself. As you watch them, the timeless words of the 23rd Psalm drift gently into your mind, as clear and comforting as the autumn breeze. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Look at the thick, heavy coats of wool covering the sheep. They are perfectly equipped for the coming winter. They did not have to weave this wool themselves. They did not have to toil or worry about the dropping temperatures. The Creator, in His infinite wisdom and foresight, provided exactly what they need to endure the changing of the seasons. They simply live, and they are clothed. They simply graze, and they are fed. Allow this profound truth to sink deep into your own heart. If the Lord is the shepherd of these gentle creatures, carefully providing for their every physical need, how much more is He the shepherd of your soul? You do not need to carry the paralyzing fear of the future. You do not need to endlessly weave your own protective layers of anxiety, trying to guard yourself against every possible cold wind that might blow into your life. The Good Shepherd is watching over you. He knows exactly what you need, long before you even ask. He goes before you, preparing the pastures of your life, ensuring that you will always have a place of rest and provision. Surrender your worries to Him right now. Release the tension in your neck and shoulders. Let yourself be led. Let yourself be cared for. Further down the fence line, separated from the sheep by a sturdy stone wall, a small herd of dairy cows is resting near the edge of the woods. They are massive, gentle giants, their black and white coats stark and beautiful against the muted colors of the autumn landscape. Most of them are lying down in the thick, damp grass, their heavy bodies fully surrendered to the earth. Slowly, quietly, you walk along the fence until you are standing near them. They do not startle. They simply turn their large, soulful eyes toward you, acknowledging your presence with a peaceful, undisturbed gaze. Their eyes are deep and dark, framed by thick lashes, holding a profound, quiet wisdom that only comes from a life of absolute simplicity. Listen to the sound of their breathing. It is deep, slow, and incredibly resonant. You can see the rhythmic rise and fall of their massive rib cages. With every exhale, a small cloud of warm, white mist plumes into the cool autumn air. It is the visible breath of life. Close your eyes and try to sync your own breathing with the deep, steady rhythm of the cattle. Inhale, slowly, deeply, filling your lungs completely. Hold it for a moment, feeling the expansion of your chest. Exhale, completely, letting the breath escape with a soft, audible sigh. Inhale, drawing in the perfect peace of the morning. Exhale, releasing all remaining hurry, all remaining stress. There is something deeply grounding about the physical presence of these large animals. They are unbothered by the complexities of the world. They do not worry about the economy, or social expectations, or the mistakes they made yesterday. They exist entirely in the present moment. They are chewing their cud, a slow, deliberate process of digestion and rest. It is a reminder that we, too, need time to simply sit and digest our lives. We need quiet moments to process the goodness of God, to ruminate on His promises, and to allow His truth to nourish our spirits deeply. As you stand there, matching your breath to the quiet rhythm of the herd, a sudden, joyful flurry of movement catches your eye. A small flock of sparrows descends from the overarching branches of a nearby oak tree. They land delicately on the wooden fence rails, just a few feet away from where you are standing. They are tiny, fragile creatures, their brown and gray feathers perfectly camouflaged against the wood. They do not stay still for long. They hop and flutter along the fence, their small heads darting quickly from side to side as they search for tiny seeds trapped in the crevices of the wood or scattered in the grass below. Their movements are light, energetic, and completely devoid of anxiety. They chirp to one another, a series of soft, sweet, high-pitched notes that sound like tiny drops of water falling into a still pond. These little birds are the ultimate embodiment of trust. Christ Himself pointed to them as the perfect teachers of faith. "Look at the birds of the air," He said. "They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Watch the sparrows closely. They do not have pantries. They do not have savings accounts. They do not know where their meal will come from tomorrow, or even later this afternoon. Yet, they sing. They flutter with joyful energy,
They live with an innate, unshakable confidence that the earth will provide, because the Creator has commanded it to be so.
If God takes the time to scatter seeds for the smallest, most seemingly insignificant sparrow on this farm, will He not also provide the daily bread you need for your journey? Will He not provide the strength, the wisdom, the grace, and the resources you require to fulfill the purpose He has placed on your life? You are infinitely valuable to Him. You are made in His image. The same hands that delicately painted the feathers of the sparrow and carved the massive frame of the ox have carefully, lovingly formed your life. Allow a profound sense of relief to wash over you. You are part of this incredible, interconnected web of creation, all held together by the word of His power. The sheep grazing on the hill, the cattle resting in the grass, the sparrows gathering seeds on the fence, they are all your companions in this quiet morning. Together, in absolute silence, you are all declaring the goodness and the faithfulness of God. The sun has risen higher now, and its golden light spills generously across the pasture, dissolving the last remnants of the morning mist. The dew on the grass begins to sparkle, catching the light and turning the entire field into a vast, glittering mosaic. The warmth of the sun touches your face, a physical manifestation of God's protective embrace. Take one last look at your gentle companions. Offer a silent prayer of gratitude for their peaceful presence, for the simple, profound lessons they have taught you today without uttering a single word. You feel lighter now. The heavy burdens you brought with you to this farm have been completely lifted, carried away by the autumn breeze, and dissolved in the warmth of the sun. You are rested. You are grounded. You are deeply, unconditionally loved. With a quiet, contented sigh, you turn away from the fence. You begin to walk slowly back toward the farmhouse, the soft crunch of your footsteps on the dirt path blending harmoniously with the distant, gentle lowing of the cattle and the sweet, fading chirps of the sparrows. The day is unfolding perfectly, wrapped in grace, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. As you leave the gentle company of the pastures behind, you begin the slow, unhurried walk back toward the farmhouse. The sun has climbed past its zenith, and the sky has taken on a slightly deeper, richer shade of azure. With the subtle shifting of the afternoon light, a new crispness has entered the autumn air. The wind, which was just a gentle whisper earlier, now carries a sharper, cooler edge, rustling the remaining dry leaves with a bit more urgency. You pull your thick, knitted shawl a little tighter around your shoulders, feeling the comforting weight of the yarn against your skin. The chill is not unpleasant. Rather, it is a beautiful reminder of the changing seasons, and it creates a deep, natural yearning within you for shelter and warmth. The old farmhouse stands before you, a steadfast anchor in the midst of the rolling landscape. Its weathered stone foundation and thick wooden walls have stood resolute against countless autumn winds and winter snows. It is a place of refuge. As you step onto the wooden planks of the wraparound porch, you can already feel a sense of insulation from the open elements. You reach out and turn the heavy, brass knob of the front door. It opens with a solid, reassuring weight, and you step across the threshold, leaving the brisk outdoor world behind. You close the door softly behind you, and the sturdy click of the lock echoes gently in the entryway. Immediately, the atmosphere transforms. The sharp, rushing sound of the wind is instantly muted, replaced by an incredibly profound, insulated silence. The air inside is still, settled, and wonderfully temperate. You slowly unwind the shawl from your shoulders and hang it on a wrought iron hook by the door. You slip off your boots, allowing your tired feet to feel the smooth, cool touch of the polished hardwood floor. Every movement is a deliberate shedding of the outside world, a conscious transition into a space of absolute sanctuary. You walk slowly down the short hallway and enter the main living space of the farmhouse. The room is dimly lit, bathed in the soft ambient light filtering through the lace curtains. The air carries a deeply comforting fragrance, a rich, complex blend of old leather-bound books, dried cinnamon, and the lingering, sweet smokiness of countless fires that have burned in this room over the decades. It is the scent of history, of family, and of abiding peace. At the very heart of the room stands a massive river-stone fireplace. It spans the entire height of the wall, its stones carefully gathered from the nearby creek streams many generations ago. The stones are varying shades of slate gray, deep charcoal, and muted earth tones, smoothed by water and time before being permanently laid into this foundation of warmth. In the center of the hearth, a fire has been lovingly prepared and is already burning steadily. Slowly, you make your way toward the hearth. Drawn by the hypnotic dance of the flames, you sink into a large, overstuffed armchair positioned perfectly in front of the fire. The chair is covered in a soft, worn fabric that yields completely to your body, wrapping around you like a familiar, comforting embrace. You lean your head back against the cushion and simply gaze into the hearth. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, drawing in the faint, sweet scent of the wood smoke. Exhale softly through your mouth, letting out a long, audible sigh of relief. Crack, pop. Listen to the mesmerizing symphony of the fire. The dry oak and hickory logs crackle and pop as the heat releases the pockets of air trapped deep within the wood. It is a random, organic rhythm, entirely unpredictable, yet perfectly soothing. Watch as the flames lick the edges of the bark. They are a brilliant, living painting of color. Deep, glowing oranges at the core, bright, joyful yellows reaching upward, and tiny, fleeting flashes of ethereal blue at the very base where the heat is most intense. The fire moves with a fluid, mesmerizing grace, constantly shifting, constantly consuming, yet providing an incredibly steady, reliable source of comfort. Hold your hands out toward the hearth, palms facing the fire. You can feel the radiant heat traveling across the short distance, pressing gently against your skin. It is a physical, tangible warmth that immediately begins to chase away the lingering chill of the autumn air. Feel the heat seeping into your fingertips, traveling down your hands, warming your wrists, and flowing up your arms. It is like a slow, golden liquid pouring into your veins, melting away any stiffness, any tension, any physical memory of the cold. As your body begins to thaw and relax completely into the armchair, let your mind turn toward the spiritual reality of this warmth. In the scriptures, God is often described as a fire. Sometimes he is a consuming fire, purifying and refining. But he is also the pillar of fire that guided the Israelites through the dark, cold wilderness. He is the warming presence of the Holy Spirit, dwelling within the hearth of your own heart. Think about the coldness of the world outside. There are winds of anxiety, storms of conflict, and deep, freezing seasons of grief or loneliness. It is so easy to become spiritually chilled, to let the harsh realities of life numb your hope and stiffen your faith. But right now, you are sitting in the sanctuary. You have come in from the cold. You are resting in the immediate, radiant presence of your Heavenly Father. His love is this fire. It is not a distant, theoretical concept. It is a present, active, warming reality. Let the warmth of his love penetrate the deepest, coldest spaces of your soul. Perhaps there is a fear you have been carrying that has left you shivering in the dark. Bring it to the fire. Let the light of his truth illuminate it, and let the heat of his grace melt it away. Perhaps there is a relationship that has grown cold, or a dream that has been frozen by disappointment. Sit here in the warmth of his presence and allow his spirit to breathe new life and thaw those hardened places. You do not need to generate the heat yourself. You do not need to strive to be warm. You only need to sit close to the flame and receive it. Crack, hiss, pop. A log shifts suddenly in the grate, collapsing downward in a shower of brilliant, golden sparks that drift lazily up the dark expanse of the chimney. The movement sends a fresh wave of heat washing over your face. Your eyelids are beginning to feel incredibly heavy. The soft, rhythmic pulsing of the glowing embers at the base of the fire seems to sync with the slow, steady beating of your own heart. Pulse, glow, fade. Pulse, glow, fade. In the dim light of the room, the fire casts long, dancing shadows on the walls and the ceiling. They flicker and sway, a silent, graceful ballet moving to the music of the crackling wood. The room feels entirely insulated from time. The grandfather clock in the hallway ticks away the seconds. Tick, tock, tick, tock. But the sound is distant and unimportant. Time does not matter here. The demands of the schedule, the pressure of deadlines, the urgent voices of the world, they have all been entirely locked out. You are hidden in Christ. You are sheltered in the Most High. The thick stone walls of this spiritual house surround you, and the fire of His Spirit warms you from the inside out. Notice how your body is fully surrendering to the chair. Your legs are heavy and relaxed. Your shoulders have dropped completely away from your ears. Your jaw is loose, and the muscles around your eyes have smoothed out. You are enveloped in a cocoon of warmth, safety, and absolute peace. Imagine Jesus sitting in the chair beside you, watching the fire with you. He does not demand conversation. He does not require you to explain your weariness or justify your need for rest. He simply shares the quiet warmth of the room with you. His presence is a silent, overwhelming comfort. He is the friend who stays closer than a brother, the Savior who knows the exact weight of your burdens and offers His own shoulder for you to lean on. Breathe in the peace of this room. Exhale all remaining doubt. Breathe in the warmth of His abiding love. Exhale the coldness of fear. As the afternoon slowly deepens toward evening, the fire continues its quiet, faithful work. The flames grow a little shorter, transitioning into a bed of deep, intensely hot embers that glow with a brilliant ruby-red light. The heat is less aggressive now, more radiant and deeply penetrating. It wraps around you like a heavy, weighted blanket. You are safe, you are warm, you are entirely known, and you are entirely loved. Rest here by the hearth. Let the crackling of the wood lull your thoughts to a gentle halt. Let the warmth of the Creator hold you in perfect, undisturbed stillness. As you rest deeply within the warm, heavy embrace of the armchair, lulled by the hypnotic crackle of the hearth, you begin to notice a subtle shift in the atmosphere of the room. The ambient light filtering through the lace curtains slowly changes its character. The bright, golden shafts of the afternoon sun gently recede, retreating behind a thick, advancing blanket of soft, rolling clouds. The room dims, taking on a cool, muted shade of silver and slate. It is a visual quieting, a natural dimming of the lights orchestrated by the heavens, inviting an even deeper level of stillness into your spirit. You turn your head slowly, your cheek resting comfortably against the soft fabric of the chair, and gaze out through the large, multi-paned window next to the fireplace. The sky has been painted in beautifully layered brushstrokes of gray, from pale, misty dove gray to deeper, heavier charcoal hues near the horizon. The wind outside has dropped completely. The world holds its breath in a moment of absolute, expectant suspension. And then it begins. Tap. A single, distinct sound against the glass. Tap. Tap. You watch as the first few drops of rain strike the window pane. They are large and heavy, bursting against the glass and tracing slow, jagged paths downward. Within moments, the solitary taps multiply, joining together into a soft, scattered applause. The sound grows, building gradually and beautifully, until it settles into a steady, rhythmic, and incredibly soothing pitter-patter against the window and the roof above. Shh. Listen to the rain. It is a gentle, enveloping sound, a continuous cascade of water meeting the earth. It drums softly upon the tin roof of the wraparound porch, a low, resonant, metallic rhythm that instantly signals safety and shelter. It falls upon the dry, fallen leaves in the yard with a soft, rustling hiss. It is the music of the autumn rain, an ancient, familiar lullaby that has the power to bypass the busy, anxious centers of the brain and speak directly to the weary soul. In the scriptures, rain is continually used as a profound symbol of God's blessing, His provision, and, most beautifully, His mercy. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain on tender plants. As you sit in the absolute comfort and dryness of the farmhouse, watching the rain wash over the world outside, allow this gentle shower to become a tangible metaphor for the mercy of your Creator. Think about the nature of rain. The earth does not have to beg for it. The dry soil does not have to strive, or work, or prove itself worthy of the water. The earth simply lies bare, open, and receptive. When the heavens open, the rain falls freely, indiscriminately, pouring out its life-giving moisture as an act of pure grace. God's mercy is exactly the same. How often do we exhaust ourselves trying to earn His forgiveness? How often do we carry the heavy, suffocating dust of past mistakes, believing we must somehow scrub our own souls clean before we are acceptable in His sight? But the Lord says, "I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean." His mercy is not a wage to be earned. It is a gift to be received. It falls upon the just and the unjust. It falls upon the moments of your greatest faith and the days of your deepest doubt. Imagine the rain outside washing over the apple orchard you walked through this morning. It lands on the heavy fruit, rinsing away the dust of the summer. It seeps into the dark, thirsty soil, traveling down to the deepest roots, providing the vital nourishment the trees need as they prepare for their long winter sleep. Now, close your eyes and imagine that same gentle rain falling over the landscape of your own heart. Feel the cool, refreshing droplets of God's mercy washing over you. Let the steady, rhythmic sound of the water dissolve the heavy accumulations of guilt, shame, and regret. With every patter against the window pane, whisper a silent release. Let it go. Let it wash away. If there's a specific mistake that has been replaying in your mind, a word spoken in anger, a failure that haunts your quiet moments, bring it to the surface now. Do not hide it. Expose it to the gentle rain of His grace. The blood of Jesus is the ultimate cleansing flood. As the rain washes the dirt from the stones on the garden path outside, His mercy washes your spirit entirely clean. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. You are forgiven. You are entirely, completely, and permanently forgiven. Let the absolute reality of that truth soak into your bones just as the rain soaks into the autumn earth. The sound of the rain is incredibly consistent. It does not rush, it does not falter. It is a steady, unbroken stream of grace. Sink deeper into the cushions of your armchair. Let the physical sensation of being sheltered amplify your spiritual sense of security. You are inside. You are protected by the thick stone walls and the sturdy roof of God's unfailing love. The storm may rage outside in the world. There may be economic uncertainties, relational conflicts, or physical ailments. But in this innermost sanctuary of your relationship with Him, you are safe and dry. Notice the beautiful contrast between the environment outside and the environment inside. Outside, the air is cool, damp, and flowing with water. Inside, the air is warm, dry, and fragrant with the scent of wood smoke from the crackling hearth. The fire continues to burn brightly, its golden light dancing across your face, while the silver rain paints the world beyond the glass. This contrast is the very definition of comfort. You cannot truly appreciate the warmth of the fire without knowing the chill of the rain. In the same way, the depth of God's grace is most profoundly felt when we acknowledge our deep, desperate need for His mercy. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Let the sound of the rain dictate the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale slowly, imagining the fresh, clean air of the rain shower filling your lungs. Exhale smoothly, imagining all tension, all spiritual debris flowing out of you, carried away by the water. Inhale His mercy. Exhale your guilt. Inhale His gentle grace. Exhale your striving. As you watch the window pane, you see two separate raindrops slowly meandering down the glass. They trace their own uncertain paths, zigzagging slightly, until they suddenly touch. Instantly, they merge into a single, larger, heavier drop, which then accelerates, rushing down the pane to join the pool of water on the sill. It is a tiny, beautiful display of unity. We, too, are like those individual drops. Sometimes we feel isolated, tracing our own difficult paths down the glass of life. But we are designed to merge our fragile wills with the sovereign will of the Father, to join our small, individual lives into the massive, flowing river of His divine purpose. When we stop trying to hold ourselves together and simply surrender to the downward flow of His grace, we find momentum, purpose, and profound rest. The rain continues its soft, sweeping song. It is washing the roof. It is washing the fields. It is washing the woods. And it is washing your mind. The endless loop of thoughts, the to-do lists, the hypothetical scenarios that usually keep you awake, they are all being gently drowned out by the steady, hypnotic drumbeat of the water. Your eyelids are growing heavier still. The warmth of the fire on your skin and the sound of the rain in your ears are pulling you gently downward into a state of deep, restorative rest. You are entirely enveloped in the sensory experience of peace. There is nothing you need to accomplish while it rains. The farm work has been paused. The animals are tucked safely in the barn, listening to the same rain on the roof, resting quietly in the hay. The earth itself is taking a mandatory break, drinking in the provision of the sky. You, too, are allowed to stop. You are permitted to simply exist in this moment, held in the arms of the Father, sheltered by the house, warmed by the fire, and washed by the rain. Listen to the shh of the water. Let it sweep over you. Let it sing you a song of absolute forgiveness and unconditional love. You are clean. You are safe. You are deeply loved by the Creator of the rain. Rest in the beautiful, unearned downpour of His mercy. The gentle rhythmic drumming of the rain against the window pane gradually begins to slow. The continuous pour softens into a quiet, intermittent drizzle, and then, finally, to an absolute, profound stillness. The storm has passed. As you slowly open your eyes, lifting your head from the soft sanctuary of the armchair, you notice that the quality of the light in the room has shifted once again. The heavy silver clouds outside are beginning to break apart, allowing brilliant golden shafts of late afternoon sunlight to pierce through the fractures in the sky. The light catches the remaining raindrops clinging to the glass, turning them into 1,000 tiny, sparkling prisms. You stretch your arms and legs, feeling entirely rested. The fire in the hearth has burned down to a deep, radiant bed of glowing coals, radiating a gentle, consistent warmth. Your spirit feels as though it has been washed perfectly clean. You stand up, feeling lighter, unburdened, and deeply refreshed by the restorative power of the rain. There is a desire stirring within you, a quiet calling to step back outside, to witness the world newly bathed, and to breathe in the revitalized autumn air. You retrieve your boots and the thick-knitted shawl from the entryway. As you open the heavy oak door and step out onto the wraparound porch, the sensory transformation of the world hits you beautifully. Take a long, deep breath in. The air is incredibly crisp and impossibly pure. It carries the unmistakable, intoxicating scent of petrichor, that deep, earthy, rich fragrance of dry soil and fallen leaves that have just been quenched by the rain. It smells of damp bark, sweet pine needles, and the very essence of life returning to the earth. It is a cleansing breath, cold and sharp as it enters your lungs, yet deeply soothing to your mind. You walk down the porch steps, your boots meeting the damp, soft earth. The world is hushed. The only sounds are the occasional musical plink of a leftover raindrop falling from the eaves into a puddle below, and the soft, distant murmur of the creek, running a little fuller now beyond the pastures. You make your way across the yard, walking past the quiet, shadowy structure of the main barn, and head toward the edge of the property, where the antique farm meets the ancient, sprawling forest. The boundary is marked by a low, crumbling stone wall, its surface now slick and dark with moisture, covered in vibrant patches of emerald green moss that seem to glow in the aftermath of the rain. You step carefully over the low wall and enter the sanctuary of the woods. Instantly, the atmosphere changes. The air here is cooler, shaded by the intricate, interlacing branches of the towering oaks, maples, and ancient pines. The canopy above is a magnificent fractured mosaic of color: deep burgundies, burnt oranges, muted golds, and patches of resilient evergreen needles. Because of the rain, the colors are heavily saturated, richer and more vibrant than they were this morning. Look down at the ground beneath your feet. It is not bare earth, but a thick, luxurious carpet of fallen autumn leaves. They are damp and heavy, pressed together by the rain into a soft, yielding pathway. As you take your first steps into the woods, listen to the sound of your boots. It is not the dry, brittle crunch of early autumn. Rather, it is a soft, muffled, deeply satisfying squish and rustle. Step, rustle, sink. Step, rustle, sink. Walk slowly. There is no destination here, only the journey of the present moment. Feel the slight give of the earth beneath you, a gentle reminder that you are walking upon generations of fallen leaves that have quietly returned to the soil to nourish the roots below. It is the beautiful, silent cycle of creation, orchestrated entirely by the Father. As you move deeper into the woods, you are surrounded by the massive, sturdy trunks of the trees. Their bark is dark and deeply furrowed, slick with rain. Reach out and place your palm against the trunk of a great oak. The wood is cold and wet, yet it hums with a silent, enduring strength. This tree has stood exactly here for hundreds of years. It does not wander, it does not rush, it simply stands, rooted deeply in the earth, receiving whatever the heavens pour down upon it, be it the harsh sun of August, the freezing snows of January, or the gentle, washing rains of November. Look up into the branches of the oak. It has already shed more than half of its leaves. They lie around the base of the trunk, a golden offering returning to the ground. The branches look somewhat bare against the clearing sky, stripped of their summer glory. Yet, there is a profound, undeniable beauty in this bareness. The trees are our greatest teachers in the holy art of letting go. They do not strive to hold on to their leaves when the season changes. They do not view the falling foliage as a loss or a failure. The tree knows, with an innate, God-given wisdom, that in order to survive the coming winter, it must pull its life force inward, deep down into its roots. It must release the old to make way for the new life that will surely come in the spring. Think about your own life as you walk among these silent giants. What are you desperately trying to hold on to that the season is asking you to release? Are there old resentments, outdated expectations, or heavy burdens that you are clinging to, afraid of what your life will look like if you let them fall? Listen to the whispering woods. As a sudden, gentle breeze sweeps through the upper canopy, the remaining leaves rustle together, creating a sound like a long, soothing sigh. The tall pine trees join in, their needles catching the wind and turning it into a soft, ocean-like roar. Let go, the woods seem to whisper. Let it fall. Allow the Holy Spirit to minister to you in this quiet place. Picture the things you are holding on to tightly. Imagine them as dry, brittle leaves attached to the branches of your soul. Now, give God permission to send His gentle autumn wind. Watch as those burdens gracefully detach. Watch them float downward, landing softly on the damp forest floor. You do not need to carry them into your winter. You are allowed to lay them down. Surrender is not a defeat. It is the ultimate act of trust. Just as the tree trusts that the sap will rise again in the spring, you can trust that God's mercies are new every morning. When you let go of the things you cannot control, you make room for the deep, root-level nourishment of His grace. Take a deep breath of the pine-scented air. Exhale your surrender. Feel the physical sensation of lightness spreading through your chest and your shoulders. You are walking unburdened. You are walking in the company of the Creator. The path meanders gently, following the natural contours of the land, leading you alongside a small, quiet stream. Because of the recent rain, the stream is moving with a bit more purpose, flowing smoothly over rounded river stones and mossy logs. The sound of the water is a gentle, continuous babble, a joyful song of movement and life. Water is the element of cleansing, of flowing, of moving forward without resistance. You find a massive fallen log near the edge of the stream. It is thick and ancient, covered in intricate patterns of lichen and soft green moss. The top side is relatively dry, sheltered by the dense pine branches above. You sit down slowly, resting your hands on your knees, and simply observe the water. You watch the fallen leaves that have landed in the stream. They do not fight the current. They do not try to swim upstream. They simply yield to the gentle pull of the water, allowing themselves to be carried effortlessly downstream, twisting and turning, spinning quietly in the small eddies, and then floating on. We are often so exhausted because we spend our lives fighting the current of God's will. We try to force our own timelines. We try to maneuver around the obstacles using our own strength. But the Lord invites us to a different way of living. Be still and know that I am God. He invites us to float. He invites us to rest in the river of His providence, trusting that the current of His love will carry us exactly where we need to be. Sit quietly on the log and practice this spiritual stillness. Listen to the babble of the stream. Listen to the shh of the wind in the pines. Listen to the occasional soft thud of a wet pine cone falling to the forest floor. These are the soothing, ancient rhythms of the earth. They are entirely unhurried. They are entirely at peace. Close your eyes and let these sounds weave together into a deeply relaxing symphony. Let the coolness of the forest air soothe your face. Let the solid, immovable weight of the log beneath you anchor you to the present moment. You are completely alone, yet you have never been more accompanied. The presence of God fills this forest. It is in the water, it is in the wind, it is in the very breath filling your lungs. There is nothing to fear here. The darkness of the woods is not a threatening darkness. It is a sheltering shadow, the protective shadow of His wings. As the afternoon sun begins its slow, golden descent toward the horizon, the shadows in the woods grow longer, stretching out like dark velvet ribbons across the forest floor. The light shifts from bright gold to a soft, hazy amber. The day is quietly folding in on itself, preparing for the approaching night. Take one final, deep breath of the damp, earthy air. Let the profound peace of the whispering woods settle permanently into your heart. You have released your burdens. You have rested by the quiet waters. Your soul has been restored. With a slow, deliberate movement, you rise from the log, your spirit quieted, ready to walk the soft, leafy path back toward the warmth of the farmhouse, carrying the deep, unshakable stillness of the forest with you. You step gently out of the shadow of the whispering woods, carrying the deep, undisturbed peace of the forest within you. The late afternoon has begun its slow, graceful descent toward evening. The sky, washed entirely clean by the earlier rain, is now a breathtaking canvas of soft, hazy amber and pale gold. The sun is lower now, casting long, stretching shadows across the damp grass of the pasture. The air is still remarkably crisp, holding on to the rich, earthy scent of the damp soil and fallen pine needles. But it has settled into a profound, windless quiet. Your boots make a soft, rhythmic thud, thud against the dirt path as you make your way back toward the heart of the antique farm. There is no hurry in your step. Your muscles are relaxed, your mind is remarkably clear, and your breathing is slow and even. As you approach the main cluster of buildings, you bypass the farmhouse for just a moment and veer gently toward the large, weathered barn that stands to the side of the property. The barn is a magnificent structure of aged silver-gray wood, standing as a silent testament to decades of honest, unhurried labor. You walk up the short wooden ramp leading to the side entrance. The heavy, sliding wooden door is slightly ajar. You place your hand flat against the rough wood and push. The door rolls back on its old iron track with a low, resonant, metallic rumble, a deep, heavy sound that feels incredibly grounding. You step over the threshold and enter the quiet sanctuary of the barn. The atmosphere inside is wonderfully insulated. It is dry, temperate, and holds a fragrance that is both nostalgic and deeply comforting. It is the complex, layered scent of sweet, dry hay, aged oak, soft, worn leather, and a faint, lingering hint of old machinery oil. The light inside is dim and deeply atmospheric. Golden shafts of late afternoon sun slant perfectly through the high, dusty windows, illuminating millions of tiny dust motes that dance and swirl lazily in the beams of light. It is a slow, mesmerizing ballet in the air, a physical manifestation of time standing almost perfectly still. You walk toward the back corner of the barn, where a sturdy, heavy-timbered workbench sits against the wall. The bench is scarred, stained, and deeply grooved from years of faithful use. It is a place of creation, of repair, and of quiet, dignified work. Above the bench, antique hand tools hang neatly on the wall. Hammers with handles worn smooth by the grip of calloused hands, chisels, planes, and old iron wrenches. There is an undeniable beauty in these instruments of labor. They speak of a time when things were built to last, when work was done slowly, by hand, with careful, deliberate intention. You stand before the workbench and let your eyes wander over its surface. Resting near the center is an old, handcrafted wooden bowl. It was likely carved from a single piece of maple many generations ago. Over the years, through countless seasons of use, the wood has become incredibly dry. It looks pale, almost gray, and the intricate, beautiful lines of the natural grain have faded, hidden beneath the dull surface of the neglected wood. Next to the bowl sits a small, heavy glass jar of natural beeswax and linseed oil, and a soft, folded square of white cotton cloth. You feel a quiet, gentle prompting within you, an invitation to engage in the simple, restorative work of your hands. You reach out and pick up the wooden bowl. It is surprisingly light, its moisture having completely evaporated over the years. The surface is rough and thirsty against your fingertips. You set it gently back down onto the center of the workbench. You unscrew the metal lid of the glass jar. A soft, muted squeak of the threads breaks the silence. Instantly, the rich, nutty, and slightly sweet aroma of the beeswax and oil rises to meet you. It is a wholesome, natural scent, redolent of the earth and the hive. You unfold the soft cotton cloth, wrapping it comfortably around your index and middle fingers. You dip the cloth into the jar, pressing gently until the fabric absorbs a small amount of the golden, fragrant paste. Take a slow, deep breath in, letting the aroma calm your senses. Exhale fully, releasing any lingering tension from your shoulders. You place the oiled cloth against the dry, rough surface of the wooden bowl. Slowly, with a firm but gentle pressure, you begin to move your hand in a long, sweeping circle along the rim. Rub, slide, smooth. Listen to the sound. It is a soft, continuous, sweeping whisper against the wood. Shh. Immediately, as the oil touches the wood, a beautiful transformation begins. The pale, dry, gray surface drinks in the nourishment instantly, turning into a deep, rich, vibrant shade of honey and amber. The hidden grain of the wood suddenly springs to life. Intricate, swirling patterns, dark ribbons of growth, and beautiful, complex knots emerge from beneath the surface, revealing the unique, individual story of the tree from which it was carved. You dip the cloth into the jar again, gathering a little more oil, and move to the inside of the bowl. Circle, sweep, restore. The repetitive motion of your hand is incredibly soothing. It requires no complex thought, no anxious planning. It only requires your presence and your gentle touch. Let the rhythm of your hand sync perfectly with the rhythm of your breathing. As you press the cloth into the wood, breathe in. As you sweep it across the grain, breathe out. Inhale the fragrant scent of the beeswax. Exhale all the noise of the outside world. There is profound spiritual dignity in the quiet work of our hands. The scriptures tell us that Jesus himself was a carpenter, the king of the universe, the creator of the stars and the galaxies, spent the majority of his earthly life in a dusty workshop, much like this one. He knows the scent of freshly cut wood. He knows the feel of a rough handle. He knows the slow, patient process of taking something raw and unformed and shaping it into something beautiful and useful. As you continue to rub the oil into the dry wood, think about the hands of the master carpenter working on your own soul. How often do we feel like this forgotten wooden bowl? After enduring the long, harsh seasons of life, the periods of drought, the friction of difficult relationships, the exhausting demands of the world, our spirits can become incredibly dry. We feel weathered, dull, and brittle. We lose our vibrancy and the beautiful, unique image of God carved into our souls becomes obscured by the dust of daily survival. But God does not look at a dry, weathered soul and throw it away. He does not discard us when we lose our shine. Instead, He draws near. He brings the anointing oil of His Holy Spirit. He restores my soul, the psalmist wrote. He takes us gently in His hands, and with infinite patience and unconditional love, He begins to rub the oil of His grace into the deepest, driest grains of our hearts. Rub, smooth, heal. Watch the wood as it absorbs the oil. It takes time. True restoration cannot be rushed. Sometimes, the friction of the cloth is necessary to push the oil deep beneath the surface, past the hardened exterior. In our own lives, God often uses the gentle friction of our circumstances to work His grace deeper into our character. He presses into our hard places, softening our rough edges, and slowly bringing our true, original beauty back to the surface. You trace the cloth over a large, dark knot in the side of the bowl. The knot is dense and incredibly hard. It is the place where a branch once struggled to break free from the trunk, a place of resistance and stress in the life of the tree. Yet as the oil touches the knot, it becomes the most striking, beautiful feature of the entire bowl. It shines with a deep, complex radiance. In the hands of the master craftsman, our deepest wounds, our greatest struggles, and our most difficult trials are not erased. They are redeemed. They become the darkest, richest grains of our character, the very places where His grace is most profoundly visible to the world. Your scars are not a sign of your ruin. They are the undeniable evidence of your healing. Circle, sweep, breathe. The sound of the cloth against the wood is a steady, hypnotic lullaby. Shh. It is drowning out the last remnants of your fatigue. Your eyelids feel incredibly heavy. Your arm moves with a slow, effortless grace, guided entirely by the rhythm of the task. You are not striving to finish. You are simply resting in the process. You turn the bowl over, resting it on its rim, and begin to work the oil into the curved underside. You can feel every subtle curve, every minor imperfection left by the original carver's knife. You honor those imperfections by tending to them with care. God honors your imperfections by loving you unconditionally. He does not demand that you be flawless. He only asks that you remain in His hands, allowing Him to continually anoint you with His peace. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Even this small, seemingly insignificant task is seen by the Father. When we do the quiet, humble work of our lives with a heart of peace and gratitude, it becomes a holy offering. Folding the laundry, sweeping the floor, tending to a garden, or simply comforting a child, these are not distractions from spiritual life. They are the very altars where our spiritual life is lived out. God is in the sweeping. He is in the folding. He is right here with you. In the quiet rhythm of the oiled cloth against the wood, you dip the cloth into the jar one final time, gathering the last bit of oil needed. You carefully work it into the very base of the bowl, ensuring that every single inch of the wood has been touched, nourished, and restored. You set the cloth down on the workbench. You lift the bowl in both hands and turn it slowly in the slanted, golden light of the barn. It is completely transformed. The dull, gray, thirsty object is gone. In its place is a stunning, vibrant vessel, glowing with a warm, inner radiance. It is smooth to the touch, rich in color, and smells beautifully of honey and earth. It is ready, once again, to hold whatever the season brings. You place the restored bowl back in the center of the workbench. You screw the metal lid tightly back onto the jar of oil. Squeak. You fold the cotton cloth neatly and lay it beside the jar. The workspace is clean, orderly, and at peace. You wipe your hands on a dry towel, feeling the slight, soft residue of the beeswax on your skin. It is a protective layer, a physical reminder of the anointing you have received today. You stand completely still for a moment, letting the deep, insulated silence of the barn wrap around you. You look at the dust motes still dancing slowly in the fading beams of light. The amber glow is beginning to dim, giving way to the deeper, bruised purples and indigos of the approaching twilight. Your mind is completely quiet. The endless loop of thoughts has been entirely smoothed out, just like the surface of the wooden bowl. You feel a deep, quiet sense of accomplishment, a settling of the soul that only comes from engaging in unhurried, purposeful work in the presence of God. You have been restored. With a slow, contented sigh, you turn away from the workbench. You walk back toward the heavy, sliding door, your footsteps echoing softly in the vast space. You step out onto the wooden ramp, pulling the massive door shut behind you. Rumble. Click. As you turn back toward the farmhouse, the evening shadows have lengthened considerably, gently blanketing the antique farm in the quiet, cool promise of the coming night. You are ready for the evening. You are ready for rest. You are walking in the perfect, established peace of the Lord. As you turn away from the heavy sliding door of the old wooden barn, leaving the quiet work of your hands resting safely in the dimming light inside, you step back out into the open embrace of the antique farm. The world has changed while you were inside. The subtle, gradual turning of the earth has brought the day to its final, most spectacular act. The late afternoon has quietly yielded, giving way entirely to the sacred, golden hour of the setting sun. You pause in the middle of the yard, standing perfectly still on the soft, damp grass. There is a profound, almost reverent hush that has fallen over the entire landscape. The daytime winds, which earlier rustled the apple orchard and swept across the vast fields of wheat, have completely laid down to rest. The air is entirely still. It is cooler now, carrying the distinct, sharp chill of the approaching autumn night. Yet it feels incredibly pure and refreshing against your skin. You pull your knitted shawl a little closer, wrapping it tightly against the cooling air. You walk slowly toward the western edge of the property, moving past the farmhouse and stopping at the boundary line where the manicured grass meets the edge of the sprawling, open fields. There is a low, sturdy stone wall here, built generations ago to mark the property line. The stones are cool and rough. You lean forward, resting your forearms comfortably on the top of the wall, and you turn your gaze entirely toward the western horizon. This is the theater of the evening sky, and you have the very best seat on the earth. Look at the horizon. The sky is no longer a single, uniform canopy of blue. It is a magnificent, living, breathing canvas of unbelievable color. The sun itself is a massive, glowing orb of molten gold, hanging suspended just inches above the distant, rolling tree line. It is no longer blinding to look at. The thick autumn atmosphere filters its intensity, allowing you to gaze directly into its warm, radiant face. Take a long, slow breath in. As you inhale, imagine drawing in that warm, golden light. Let it fill your lungs. Let it travel through your veins, bringing a deep, soothing warmth to every extremity of your body. Exhale slowly, releasing a soft, contented sigh into the cool evening air. Breathe in the light. Breathe out the weariness of the day. Watch as the master artist begins his masterpiece. The sky surrounding the setting sun is a brilliant, fiery furnace of color. Deep, vibrant oranges bleed seamlessly into rich, burning crimsons. It looks as though the very edge of the world has caught fire, not with a fire that destroys, but with a fire that purifies and glorifies. Above the brilliant orange, the sky fades into a soft, breathtaking coral, a gentle, blushing pink that stretches outward, catching the underbellies of the few remaining scattered clouds. These clouds, which were dull and gray just a few hours ago during the rainstorm, are now illuminated from below. They look like islands of pink cotton drifting lazily in an amber sea. There is a profound theological truth painted across this sky. The scriptures tell us, from the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, the name of the Lord is to be praised. This spectacular display of light and color is not an accident of physics. It is a deliberate, daily declaration of God's glory. He does not have to paint the sunset. The earth could simply turn to darkness in shades of gray. But he chooses to end the day with a masterpiece. He chooses to lavish beauty upon the earth, simply because he is a God of abundant, extravagant love. As you watch the colors slowly, imperceptibly shift and deepen, let the beauty of the sunset minister to your weary soul. God is taking the time to paint this sky just for this singular, fleeting moment in history. Tomorrow's sunset will be different. Yesterday's sunset is gone. But this one, this magnificent display of crimson and gold, is happening right now, and you are here to witness it. If the creator of the universe takes such careful, deliberate time to craft the ending of a single day, how much more care is he taking in crafting the story of your life? The sun inches lower. The very bottom edge of the golden orb finally touches the dark, silhouetted tree line on the horizon. This moment, the exact intersection of the sun and the earth, is a profound transition. It is the visual representation of a closing door. The day's work is officially done. Whatever you accomplish today, it is enough. Whatever you failed to finish, it must be laid down. You cannot hold back the setting sun, and you cannot force the day to extend. The Creator has established a rhythm of work and rest, and right now, the rhythm is commanding you to rest. Allow your physical body to mirror the sinking of the sun. As the sun lowers, let your shoulders drop down, entirely away from your ears. As the sun sinks deeper behind the trees, let your heavy eyelids begin to droop. Let the tension drain out of your neck, down your spine, and into the solid earth beneath your feet. Sink, settle, release. Think about the things you are carrying that belong to today, the conversations, the decisions, the anxieties, the unfinished tasks. Imagine them gathering in your hands. Now, as the sun dips below the horizon, taking the bright light of the day with it, release those burdens. Give them over to the watchman. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. You are allowed to stop working because God never does. You are allowed to close your eyes because His eyes are always open. You do not have to hold the world together through the night. The same God who holds the massive, burning sun in its exact orbit is the God who holds your life in His hands. Surrender the day. It is over. Let it go in peace. As the top half of the sun disappears behind the trees, the colors in the sky undergo a beautiful, profound transformation. The bright, fiery oranges and reds begin to cool. The sky directly above you transitions into a deep, velvety lavender, which slowly bleeds into a rich, bruised violet. The edges of the world are softening. The sharp, distinct lines of the trees, the barn, and the fences are blurring into gentle, dark silhouettes. This is the afterglow. It is the lingering promise of the sun, even after it has left your sight. In the spiritual life, there are seasons where the immediate, bright presence of God seems to dip below the horizon. We may enter into a dark night of the soul where we cannot see His face clearly, where the path ahead is no longer brightly illuminated. But look at the afterglow. Even when the sun is out of sight, its light still paints the sky. Its warmth still lingers in the earth. Its gravitational pull still holds the planet in place. Even when you cannot see God's hand, you can trust His heart. His promises are the afterglow in the darkening sky of your circumstances. He has promised never to leave you nor forsake you. He has promised that He works all things together for the good of those who love Him. Let those promises light up the edges of your mind, bringing peace even as the shadows lengthen. The last glowing sliver of the sun finally slips entirely out of view. Instantly, the atmosphere shifts again. The temperature drops another degree. The great, overarching dome of the sky deepens from violet to a profound, rich indigo. The world exhales a long, collective sigh. Listen closely to the deepening twilight. The daytime birds have gone to their nests, their cheerful chatter replaced by a deep, resonant silence. But out of this silence, a new, gentle symphony begins. From the tall grass near the stone wall, a single cricket begins its rhythmic evening song. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Within moments, it is joined by another, and then another, until the entire edge of the field is humming with a soft, steady, incredibly relaxing vibration. It is the sound of the earth settling down to sleep. Far off in the distance, from the deep shadows of the whispering woods, the low, mournful, yet deeply comforting hoot of an owl drifts through the cool air. Hoo, hoo, hoo. The sound travels for miles in the still evening air, a solitary watchman announcing the arrival of the night. Look up into the deep indigo sky, just above where the sun disappeared. There, shining with a pure, brilliant, unwavering light, is the first star of the evening. It is the evening star, piercing the gathering darkness like a tiny, flawless diamond resting on dark velvet. It is a beacon of hope. It is a reminder that the darkness is never absolute. The light always remains. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Stand here for just a few moments longer. leaning against the cool stones of the wall. Let the vastness of the twilight sky wash over you. The transition is complete. The day has passed, gracefully and beautifully, into the night. Your heart is quiet. Your mind is calm. The endless loop of daytime worries has been completely severed, replaced by the simple, profound reality of the present moment. You take one final, deep breath of the crisp, darkening air. The scent of wood smoke from the farmhouse chimney reaches you now, a gentle, fragrant invitation to return to the hearth. With a slow, peaceful movement, you push yourself back from the stone wall. You turn around, facing the farmhouse. The windows of the old house are glowing with a warm, inviting amber light, a beacon of safety and warmth in the gathering dusk. You begin to walk slowly across the damp grass, your footsteps muffled by the earth. The shadows have merged into a single, protective blanket over the farm. You are walking in the twilight, wrapped in the faithful promise of the setting sun, moving gently toward the quiet sanctuary of the evening, your soul completely at rest in the hands of the Creator. The walk back to the farmhouse is a slow, deeply peaceful journey through the gathering dusk. The air has cooled considerably, settling into the crisp, definitive chill of an autumn night. But the cold does not bite. Rather, it makes the promise of the warm house ahead all the more inviting. Your boots move softly over the dew-dampened grass, leaving faint, invisible trails in the dark. Ahead of you, the old farmhouse stands as a beacon. Warm, golden light pours from the multi-paned windows, spilling out across the porch and stretching long, welcoming fingers of amber across the dark lawn. It looks like a painting of a safe harbor, a place where the storms of the world cannot reach. You ascend the wooden steps of the porch. Creak, creak. The sound is familiar and comforting, the house acknowledging your return. You reach out and turn the cool, heavy brass doorknob. You push the solid oak door open and step across the threshold, instantly enveloped in a profound, insulating wave of warmth. You pull the door shut behind you. Click. The heavy lock slides into place, sealing the cool night air and the vastness of the dark world securely outside. You are entirely enclosed in safety. You slide out of your boots and unwrap the heavy shawl from your shoulders, hanging it gently on the iron hook in the hallway. The house is incredibly quiet. The only sound is the rhythmic, deep, resonant ticking of the old grandfather clock at the end of the hall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It is the slow heartbeat of the home, measuring out time not in anxious, rushing seconds, but in steady, peaceful increments of grace. You walk softly into the main living room. The fire in the great stone hearth has burned down from its roaring flames into a magnificent, glowing bed of deep ruby and fiery orange coals. It radiates a consistent, heavy heat that wraps around you like a thick woolen blanket. The room is bathed in a beautiful, muted light. Because the central light is low, the corners of the room are filled with long, deep shadows. But these shadows are not intimidating. They are incredibly soft. They blur the sharp edges of the furniture, the bookshelves, and the walls, creating a cocoon-like atmosphere. In the scriptures, shadows are often a place of divine protection. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And again, hide me in the shadow of your wings. As you stand in the quiet room, look at the shadows. See them not as the absence of light, but as the physical manifestation of God's protective covering. He is drawing the curtains of the night around you. He is dimming the lights so that your weary eyes can finally rest. The shadows are his wings, draped gently over this farmhouse, shielding you from the relentless demands of the waking world. You walk over to a small, round, antique wooden table set near the window. Resting in the center of the table is a beautiful old brass oil lamp with a tall, clear glass chimney. Beside it lies a small box of wooden matches. You pick up a single match. Scritch. The sudden, sharp sound is followed instantly by the tiny, brilliant flare of the match head catching fire. The smell of sulfur and burning wood briefly cuts through the scent of the fireplace, a sharp, nostalgic aroma. You lift the glass chimney and carefully touch the flame to the cotton wick. The oil catches smoothly. You blow out the match and gently lower the glass chimney back into place. Watch the flame. It starts small, but as the wick draws the oil upward, the fire blooms into a steady, bright, teardrop-shaped glow. The light casts a perfect, warm circle of illumination across the polished wood of the table. It is a soft, unwavering light that pushes back just enough of the darkness to create a sacred, intimate space for your soul to commune with its maker. You pull up a sturdy, straight-backed wooden chair with a woven rush seat. You sit down at the table, right on the edge of the lamp's golden circle. The chair supports your back perfectly. You rest your forearms on the cool surface of the table, and you bring your hands together, gently interlocking your fingers. This is the hour of quiet prayers. There is no need for eloquent words tonight. The Father does not require a polished speech. He does not need you to explain your theology or justify your weariness. He simply desires your presence. He wants you to sit in the quiet with him, just as a child sits quietly in the lap of a loving parent at the end of a long, exhausting day. Look deeply into the flame of the oil lamp. Let its steady, hypnotic flicker draw your focus away from the scattered thoughts in your mind. Breathe in deeply, drawing the quietness of the room into your chest. Breathe out completely, letting your shoulders sink down, down, down. Begin to consciously release the tension in your body, offering each relaxation as a silent prayer of surrender. Focus your attention on your forehead. You have spent the day thinking, analyzing, and worrying. The muscles around your brow are tight. Lord, I surrender my thoughts to you. As you exhale, feel the muscles in your forehead smooth out perfectly. Feel your eyebrows drop. Move your attention to your jaw. How often do we clench our teeth against the stress of the day? Lord, I surrender my striving to you. Let your jaw drop slightly. Let your tongue rest softly on the roof of your mouth. Feel the deep, soothing release travel down your neck. Bring your focus to your shoulders and your hands resting on the table. These hands have worked today. They've carried burdens. They've tried to hold things together. Lord, I surrender my need to control. Unclench your fingers. Let your hands rest completely limp, palms open, bathed in the soft light of the lamp. Your hands are empty now. You do not need to hold on to anything anymore. God is holding it all. As you sit in this posture of complete physical surrender, begin to empty your heart of its heaviest cargo. Think about the people you love, your family, your friends, those who are far away,
and those who are struggling. It is a heavy thing to love deeply, to carry concern for the well-being of others, but you cannot watch over them through the night. Father, I place them in your hands.
You love them infinitely more than I do. Your reach is boundless. Cover them with your wings tonight. Keep them safe until the morning. Imagine physically handing your loved ones over to the Lord, placing them gently into his massive, capable hands. Feel the immense relief of sharing that weight. Think about the uncertainties of tomorrow, the tasks that remain undone, the decisions that need to be made, the financial pressures, or the health concerns that hover at the edge of your mind like dark clouds. Lord, I give tomorrow entirely to you. You are already there. You have already prepared the way. I lay down my anxiety at your feet. I choose to trust that your grace will be sufficient for whatever the new day brings. With every exhale, imagine breathing those worries out of your body. See them as dark smoke being drawn into the bright, consuming flame of the oil lamp, vanishing completely into the light. Breathe in his perfect peace. Breathe out your profound weariness. Breathe. The house is so incredibly still. The grandfather clock ticks on in the hallway, a soothing, rhythmic metronome for your prayers. Tick, tock, tick, tock. You hear a sudden, soft sound from outside, the faint, lonely howl of the wind sweeping across the dark, empty wheat fields, brushing against the eaves of the farmhouse. Whoosh. The wind is cold and restless out there in the dark, but listen to how muffled it is. Listen to how distant it sounds. The thick stone walls and the sturdy glass panes stand between you and the storm. In the same way, the peace of Christ stands between your soul and the chaotic storms of the world. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Let that peace settle over you now like a heavy, impenetrable quilt. You are guarded. Your mind is secured. Nothing can breach the walls of His love tonight. Your eyelids are fluttering now, growing heavier with every passing second. The warm, glowing flame of the oil lamp is beginning to blur into a soft, golden halo. Your breathing has slowed to a deep, even, rhythmic tide. Inhale, slowly, softly. Exhale, releasing a quiet sigh. You have prayed your quiet prayers. You have emptied your hands. You have laid your burdens at the feet of the Almighty. There is absolutely nothing left for you to do. The day is beautifully, completely finished. Slowly, your heavy hands detach from one another. You reach out, your movements sluggish and completely relaxed. You cup your hand gently behind the glass chimney of the lamp and blow a soft, steady stream of air across the top. Puff. The golden flame vanishes. A thin, delicate ribbon of white smoke curls up into the darkness, carrying the sweet scent of extinguished oil. The room is immediately plunged into the deep, velvet embrace of the evening shadows. Only the dull red glow of the dying coals in the hearth provides a faint, ambient light. It is the perfect darkness, soft, rich, and profoundly peaceful. The shadow of his wings has fully descended. You push the chair back, the sound muted by a braided rug beneath the table. You stand up, your body feeling incredibly heavy, as if the gravity of the earth is gently pulling you toward rest. You are entirely ready. You turn slowly away from the table, walking softly through the soothing shadows, guided by the faint red glow of the hearth, making your way toward the deep, comforting promise of sleep. You leave the main room, now draped perfectly in the soft, protective shadow of his wings. Your body feels wonderfully heavy, weighed down by the deep, satisfying exhaustion of a life well lived and a day fully completed. Every muscle is loose, every joint is relaxed. You walk slowly down the short, narrow hallway toward your bedroom. The hardwood floorboards creak softly beneath your bare feet. Creak, groan. A gentle, familiar lullaby the old house sings as it settles in for the night. You reach your bedroom door and push it open. The room is cool, incredibly dark, and perfectly silent. The air smells faintly of lavender and old paper. In the center of the room, dominating the space, is a massive antique iron bed. It is piled high with thick, handmade quilts, their intricate patchwork patterns obscured by the darkness. Yet their comforting weight and warmth are intimately familiar. You sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress gives way with a soft, yielding sigh. Slowly, deliberately, you swing your legs up and slide beneath the covers. You pull the heavy quilts up over your shoulders, tucking them close to your neck. The sheets are cool against your skin at first, crisp and clean, but within seconds they begin to trap your own body heat, creating a perfect, insulated cocoon of warmth. You sink your head into the soft, deep expanse of the feather pillow. It envelops you, cradling your neck and head in absolute support. Your spine aligns perfectly with the mattress. You are entirely horizontal. You have yielded to gravity. There is no more walking. There is no more working. There is only rest. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with the cool night air of the room. Breathe out completely, letting your body sink deeper, heavier into the mattress. As you lie there, your physical senses begin to detach from the waking world. The boundaries of the dark room start to soften and blur. You are entering that beautiful, sacred threshold between wakefulness and sleep. Your conscious mind is letting go of the reins, allowing your spirit to float gently on the quiet currents of the Holy Spirit's peace. And as you drift, guided by a deep, inner warmth, your mind paints a picture. It is a memory, or perhaps a vision, rising gently from the depths of your soul. The profound darkness of the bedroom slowly gives way to a soft, golden, ethereal light. You are no longer lying in the dark. In your mind's eye, you are walking softly back into the main room of the farmhouse. But it is not empty. The space is completely transformed, alive with a radiant, joyful glow. The massive riverstone hearth is roaring with a magnificent, triumphant fire, casting brilliant, dancing light across the room. And there, stretching across the center of the room, is the old wooden table. It has been extended to its absolute maximum length, large enough to seat a multitude. It is covered not with a pristine, formal tablecloth, but with simple, beautiful linen, softened by years of washing and use. In the center of the table run thick, fragrant garlands of autumn leaves, dried wheat stalks, and clusters of deep red berries. Dozens of thick, beeswax candles of varying heights are scattered along the center, their golden flames flickering joyfully, casting a warm, celestial glow over everything. Take a moment to look at the wood of the table where the linen does not cover it. It is the same wood you lovingly oiled and restored earlier today in the barn. You can see the deep grooves, the dark knots, the intricate swirling patterns of the grain. This table is an anchor. For generations, it has been the center of life. It has held the weight of massive harvest feasts, and it has held the quiet, solitary tears of a single person praying in the night. It is a place of communion. You see that the table is not empty. The chairs are filled. It is a gathering. As you walk closer, your footsteps making no sound in this dreamscape, you see the faces of the people seated around the table. They are bathed in the golden candlelight. You see faces from your present, the family and friends you hold incredibly dear, the ones you prayed for just moments ago. But you also see faces from the past. You see the faces of those who have gone before you, the great cloud of witnesses, ancestors, and spiritual mentors who have already crossed over into the eternal rest of the Father. They look radiant. They look perfectly whole. There is no sorrow in their eyes, no pain in their posture. They are illuminated by the light of absolute grace. Listen to the sounds of the gathering. It is not the loud, chaotic noise of the world. It is a soft, melodic, incredibly soothing murmur. Murmur. Hum. Soft laughter. It sounds like a gentle stream flowing over smooth rocks. You cannot distinguish the exact words they are saying, and you do not need to. The tone of their voices carries the meaning. It is the sound of perfect belonging. It is the sound of deep, unbroken fellowship. It is the sound of souls who are completely safe, completely known, and completely loved. A gentle clinking of porcelain and the soft scrape of a wooden chair being pulled out drifts into the air. Clink, scrape, rustle. These gentle ASMR triggers wash over you, deepening your state of relaxation. You see hands reaching out to one another. You see bread being broken. Focus on the center of the table. There, resting on a heavy wooden board, is a massive, rustic loaf of freshly baked bread. It is crusty on the outside, steaming on the inside. You can almost smell the yeast and the flour, a warm, earthy, deeply comforting aroma that speaks of life and sustenance. A pair of strong, gentle hands takes the bread and breaks it down the middle. Crack, tear, take, eat. This is my body. The breaking of the bread is the ultimate symbol of the Lord's provision and his sacrifice. As the bread is passed around the table, from hand to hand, a profound sense of unity binds everyone together. There are no divisions here. There is no rich or poor, no successful or struggling. Everyone comes to the table with empty hands, and everyone is fed from the same loaf. Everyone partakes of the same grace. Beside the bread is a massive earthen pitcher filled with deep red wine, the color of the autumn leaves and the color of the Savior's blood. The liquid is poured into heavy rustic goblets. Splash, pour, bubble, set. Listen to the sound of the liquid filling the cups. It is the sound of a cup overflowing. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. You realize, as you stand watching this beautiful vision, that this gathering is a foretaste of the ultimate reality. It is a glimpse of the great wedding feast of the Lamb. All the longing in your heart, all the deep, aching desire for connection, for peace, for a home where nothing is broken, it will all be fulfilled at this table. The Lord has promised that many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast in the kingdom of heaven. You are invited to this table. There is a chair waiting specifically for you. In your dream state, you step up to an empty chair. You pull it out and sit down. Instantly, the soft murmur of conversation continues around you, but now you are part of it. The warmth of the people beside you radiates into your own body. You feel a hand gently rest on your shoulder, a touch of profound blessing, of deep, enduring love. You do not need to say anything. You do not need to entertain anyone or prove your worth. You only need to sit and receive and be loved. Look toward the head of the table. Although the light is brilliantly bright there, obscuring distinct features, you feel an overwhelming, magnetic pull of love radiating from that seat. It is the host. It is the master carpenter, the good shepherd, the savior of your soul. He is presiding over the feast. His presence is the source of all the joy, all the peace, and all the light in the room. He looks down the length of the table, his gaze meeting yours. You cannot see his eyes perfectly, but you feel the immediate, total comprehension of his love. He sees your weariness, he sees your faithfulness, and he smiles. Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your master. The profound peace of that gaze washes over you like a physical wave. It starts at the crown of your head and flows slowly down your body, relaxing every fiber of your being. Wave, wash, release. You look down at the simple, beautiful food set before you. The steaming soup, the crusty bread, the sweet roasted apples gathered from the orchard earlier today. Give us this day our daily bread. He has provided. He has always provided. He will always provide. As you sit in the warmth of the gathering, your mind begins to slowly detach even from this beautiful vision. The image of the long wooden table, the flickering candles, and the faces of your loved ones begins to blur around the edges, softening into a golden haze. The soft murmur of voices begins to fade, growing quieter and quieter, until it sounds like the gentle rustling of the wheat field in the wind. Shh, shh. The clinking of the glasses and the breaking of the bread dissolve into the slow, steady rhythm of your own heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. The golden light of the candles slowly dims, transitioning seamlessly back into the incredibly comforting, profound darkness of your physical bedroom. You are back in the heavy iron bed. The thick quilts are wrapped tightly around you. The farmhouse is silent and secure, but the feeling of the gathering, the profound sense of belonging, the absolute certainty of God's provision, and the warmth of His eternal love remains anchored deep within your spirit. You are not alone in the dark. You are surrounded by the great cloud of witnesses. You are held by the host of the feast. Inhale the peace of His presence. Exhale the last, lingering shadow of the world. Your body is completely immobile now, perfectly surrendered to rest. Your mind is quiet, emptied of all anxiety, filled only with the lingering, golden afterglow of the heavenly table. You are drifting deeper now, moving gracefully from the shallows of sleep into the vast, dark, restorative depths. The night is holy. The rest is divine. Let go completely. Drift into the peace. As you lie here in the profound, heavy darkness of your bedroom, swathed in the comforting weight of the antique quilts, your physical body is entirely surrendered to the mattress. You are floating in that beautiful, suspended space between the waking world and the deep oceans of sleep. The golden dream of the gathering at the wooden table has slowly dissolved, leaving behind a rich residue of absolute peace and belonging in your heart. Now, as your conscious mind continues its gentle descent, it begins to softly replay the final, anchoring memories of the evening. It is a natural unwinding of the day, a mental lullaby tracing the quiet steps that led you to this place of rest. Your mind drifts back to just an hour ago. The house was quiet, the fire had burned low, but before you surrendered entirely to the night, there was one final, faithful duty to perform. The animals needed to be checked. It was not a chore, but a deeply ingrained rhythm of care, a nightly ritual of stewardship over the creatures God has entrusted to your hands. In your mind's eye, you see yourself standing in the dim hallway of the farmhouse. Sitting on a small wooden table near the back door is an old, rusted metal lantern with a thick glass globe. It is a relic of simpler times, reliable and steadfast. You see your hand reach out in the darkness. You lift the glass lever, strike a single match, and touch the flame to the thick cotton wick. Flicker, catch, glow. The wick drinks the oil, and a warm, buttery yellow light blooms inside the glass globe. It is a modest light, not meant to conquer the darkness of the entire world, but just enough to illuminate the next step ahead. It is the perfect visual representation of the psalmist's prayer. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. We do not always get to see the whole journey. Often, God simply gives us enough light for the immediate step we are taking. And that is always enough. You grip the cool, curved metal wire of the handle. You pull the heavy back door open and step out into the vast, ocean-like darkness of the autumn night. Click, clack, the door shuts behind you. The cold night air hits your face, wonderfully crisp and incredibly pure. The darkness out here is absolute, save for the millions of brilliant, diamond-hard stars scattered across the limitless expanse of the heavens. He determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. As you look up, the sheer magnitude of the universe makes you feel wonderfully small, safely hidden beneath the canopy of His creation. You begin the short walk across the yard toward the massive, looming silhouette of the main barn. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Listen to the sound of your boots on the frosted grass. The temperature has dropped enough that a delicate crystalline layer of frost has begun to form on the earth. Every step is a soft, rhythmic crunch, completely in sync with the gentle back and forth swaying of the lantern in your hand. Creak, swing, creak, swing. The metal handle of the lantern squeaks very softly against the frame with every step. It is a hypnotic, pendulum-like rhythm. The warm, yellow circle of light travels with you, sliding over the frost-kissed grass, revealing small patches of earth and stone, and then letting them slip back into the darkness. You are walking in a moving sanctuary of light. As you reach the massive wooden doors of the barn, you do not open them fully, so as not to let the cold wind inside or startle the sleeping animals. You unlatch the small, human-sized door cut into the larger frame. You pull it open, step over the high wooden threshold, and gently close the door behind you. Instantly, you are wrapped in a different world. The air inside the barn is several degrees warmer than the night air outside, heated entirely by the massive collective body heat of the resting animals. The fragrance in this enclosed space is incredibly rich and deeply grounding. It is a sweet, complex perfume of dried clover, rich molasses, dusty grain, old leather harness, and the warm, earthy musk of the livestock. It smells like life. It smells like safety. You lift the lantern a little higher. The yellow light spills forward, casting long, dramatic, dancing shadows against the rough-hewn wooden beams of the walls and the high, arched ceiling. The barn looks like a magnificent, rustic cathedral, built not for the gathering of people, but for the sheltering of God's innocent creatures. You walk slowly down the central dirt aisle. The ground here is soft, covered in a thick layer of golden straw that completely muffles your footsteps. Rustle. Step. Rustle. To your left and right are the large wooden stalls. You approach the first one and peer over the top rail, holding the lantern out slightly. Inside, a massive draft horse is resting. He is not lying down. He stands perfectly still in the corner, his head bowed low, his heavy eyelids completely closed. His thick winter coat absorbs the yellow light of the lantern. Listen to him breathe. Huff. Hoo. It is a slow, incredibly deep, resonant sound. His massive lungs fill with air and slowly release it, a rhythm so steady and so peaceful that it immediately causes your own breathing to slow down in response. He shifts his weight slightly, a giant hoof making a soft, dull thud against the straw. and then settles back into absolute stillness. He is completely at peace. He trusts the structure of the barn. He trusts the farmer who closed the door against the wolves and the wind. How much more should we trust the one who built the structure of our lives? If this magnificent animal can sleep standing up, completely unbothered by the darkness outside because he knows he is sheltered, you too can rest your weary mind. You are housed in the impenetrable fortress of God's love. You continue your slow, swaying walk down the aisle. Creak, swing, creak. In the next pen, a small flock of sheep is huddled close together in the deep straw. They look like a single, soft, undulating cloud of white and gray wool. They are perfectly still, sharing their warmth. As the lantern light passes over them, one sheep briefly lifts its head, its dark eyes reflecting the flame for a fraction of a second, before it gently tucks its nose back into the fleece of its neighbor. The sound of their collective breathing is a soft, continuous whisper, like wind moving through tall grass. As you stand here, enveloped in the profound, insulated quiet of the barn, your mind naturally drifts toward the greatest story ever told. Over 2,000 years ago, the Savior of the world did not choose to enter humanity in a sterile, brightly lit palace. The King of Kings chose a place exactly like this. He was born in the deep shadows of a stable, surrounded by the sweet smell of hay and the warm, heavy breath of cattle and donkeys. The very first sounds the Son of God heard on earth were not the trumpets of angels, but the soft rustling of straw, the gentle lowing of a cow, and the quiet, exhausted sighs of his earthly parents. There is an unfathomable holiness in this humble setting. God chose the barn. He chose the quiet, the rustic, the overlooked places to reveal his greatest glory. Imagine the peace of that holy night. The world outside the stable was chaotic, filled with political unrest, crowded inns, and harsh taxes. But inside the stable, illuminated by the soft glow of a single oil lamp or the brilliant light of a guiding star, there was absolute, perfect stillness. The Prince of Peace was sleeping. Let the peace of the manger fill your own heart as you lie in your bed. The same Jesus who slept in the hay is with you now. He understands human exhaustion. He knows what it feels like to have a weary body that desperately needs to rest. You do not need a perfect environment to experience His presence. You do not need to have all your problems solved or your life neatly organized. He comes to us in the messy, rustic, ordinary stables of our lives and brings His profound, transformative peace. You reach the end of the aisle. Every animal is accounted for. Every stall is secure. There is plenty of hay in the mangers and fresh water in the troughs. Your duty is beautifully complete. You turn around and begin the slow walk back toward the door. Creak, swing, rustle, step. You take one last look down the length of the barn. The warm light of your lantern paints the wooden beams in strokes of gold. You whisper a quiet blessing over the sleeping creatures, thanking the Creator for their gentle companionship. You open the small door, step back out into the freezing, star-studded night, and pull the door firmly shut. Click. The latch drops into place. The animals are sealed in their sanctuary, and you are ready to return to yours. The walk back to the house is a blur of peaceful, rhythmic movement. The crunch of the frost, the sway of the lantern, the towering darkness of the sky. You reach the back door of the farmhouse, step inside, and blow out the lantern flame with a soft puff. The memory fades, dissolving seamlessly back into the present moment. You are in your bed. The heavy quilts are wrapped tightly around you, mimicking the warm, secure stalls of the barn. You are as safe as the draft horse. You are as sheltered as the sheep. The watchman of your soul has walked the perimeter of your life tonight. He has checked the doors. He has secured the latches. He has declared that you are safe. There is no wind that can reach you here. There is no anxiety that can breach the walls of His protection. Breathe in the deep, quiet peace of the night. Breathe out the last, lingering ounce of tension in your body. Your arms and legs are completely weightless now. The slow, rhythmic sounds of the barn, the breathing, the rustling straw, the creaking lantern echo faintly in the deep chambers of your mind. A hypnotic lullaby pulling you further and further down. You are sinking beautifully into the mattress, surrounded by the dark, embraced by the silence, resting perfectly in the loving, watchful presence of the Lord. You are suspended in the perfect, heavy darkness of the bedroom. Your eyes are closed, and the visual world has completely melted away. There are no more sights to process, no more images to decipher, no more light to stimulate your weary mind. You have entered the innermost chamber of rest. As your sense of sight gracefully steps aside, your sense of hearing begins to gently expand, reaching out into the profound quiet of the antique farm. At first, it seems as though there is absolute silence. But as your mind settles, as the loud, demanding, analytical voices of the day finally power down, you begin to realize that the night is not silent at all. It is alive. It is deeply, beautifully alive, with a masterpiece of sound. You are resting in the center of a grand, nocturnal symphony, and the creator of the universe is the conductor. Listen closely. Let your focus drift away from the thoughts inside your head and move outward, beyond the heavy quilts, beyond the thick wooden walls of the farmhouse, out into the vast, open expanse of the dark autumn night. It begins with the wind. It is not the sharp, aggressive wind of a winter storm, but the long, slow, sweeping breath of late autumn. You can hear it gathering far away, rolling over the distant, darkened hills. It starts as a low, almost imperceptible hum, a deep vibration in the atmosphere. Hum. Slowly, the sound builds. You can trace its path in your mind's eye as it sweeps down from the hills and enters the massive, open expanse of the golden wheat fields you walked through earlier today. When the wind meets the millions of dry, standing stalks, the sound transforms into a magnificent, rushing ocean of sound. Whew. It sounds exactly like the gentle, rhythmic crashing of waves upon a sandy shore. The wind pushes the wheat, creating a long, sustained sigh that washes over the earth. It is an incredibly heavy, wide sound that seems to stretch across the entire horizon. Shh. It is nature's ultimate white noise, designed by the Father to blanket the world in a thick layer of auditory peace. Listen to the ebb and flow of the wind. It rises, swelling with a gentle power, pushing against the eaves of the old farmhouse with a low, resonant thrum. And then, just as gracefully, it recedes. It fades away into a soft, whispering rustle, leaving a moment of absolute stillness in its wake before the next wave begins. Swell, rush, fade. Swell, rush, fade. Align the rhythm of your breathing with the rhythm of the autumn wind. As you hear the wind gathering in the distance, take a long, slow breath in. Fill your lungs completely, drawing in the peace of the night. As the wind rushes past the house, exhale fully. Release the breath with a soft sigh, letting all the remaining tension in your body be carried away by the invisible current. Breathe in the stillness. Breathe out the storm. You are so deeply sheltered. The sound of the wind outside only amplifies the profound feeling of safety inside. You are lying in a fortress of warmth. The elements cannot touch you here. The cold cannot reach you. You are hidden in the cleft of the rock. Let the rushing sound of the wind remind you of the immense, uncontainable power of God, a power that is currently standing guard over your sleeping frame. As the wind temporarily dies down, the smaller, more intricate instruments of the night symphony emerge from the darkness. From the tall, damp grasses near the edge of the apple orchard, the nocturnal chorus begins. It is the steady, pulsating rhythm of 1,000 hidden crickets. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp, chirp. It is a rapid, oscillating hum, a continuous vibration that fills the lower registers of the night air. The sound is so consistent, so perfectly repetitive, that it bypasses the active, thinking part of your brain entirely. It requires no translation. It demands no response. It simply exists. A steady, hypnotic pulse that acts as a natural metronome for your slowing heart. Think about these tiny creatures. They are hidden completely in the dark, invisible to the world, yet they are singing. They are doing exactly what they were created to do. They do not worry if their song is heard. They simply join the chorus. In the grand, cosmic scale of the universe, their song might seem insignificant, yet the Father hears them. He orchestrated their rhythm. Let their steady, unwavering song be a lullaby for your soul, a reminder that the world continues to turn, life continues to hum, and God continues to reign, even while you sleep. Through the steady hum of the crickets, another sound drifts down from the canopy of the whispering woods. Hoo, hoo hoo, hoo, hoo hoo. It is the deep, mournful, yet incredibly velvety call of a great horned owl. The sound travels for miles through the crisp, clear autumn air. It is a slow, resonant note that hangs suspended in the darkness before gently fading away. Hoo, hoo hoo. The owl is the sentinel of the night. It sits high in the ancient oak trees, watching over the slumbering farm with perfect, piercing vision. God has equipped it for the dark. In our own lives, when we enter seasons of darkness where we cannot see the path ahead, we can rest in the absolute assurance that God sees perfectly in the dark. Even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. You do not need to figure everything out tonight. You do not need to strain your eyes, trying to see into tomorrow. The watchman is on the wall. He sees the end from the beginning. You can close your eyes and yield entirely to the heavy, comforting blanket of the night. As your focus shifts gently inward, back toward the immediate space around you, you begin to hear the intimate, domestic sounds of the antique farmhouse itself. The house is settling. After absorbing the heat of the golden sun all day, the thick wooden timbers and the slate roof are now cooling in the night air. As they cool, they contract ever so slightly. Creak, groan, tick. Listen to the deep, structural sounds of the wood. A floorboard in the hallway softly releases a long-held tension with a muted pop. A heavy ceiling joist above you settles into a deeper groove with a resonant groan. These are the sounds of an old, faithful structure shifting its weight, getting comfortable, preparing to stand firm through another long night. The house is singing its own quiet lullaby. It is wrapping its wooden arms around you. Every creak is a whisper of history. Every groan is a promise of stability. This foundation is strong. You are held in a space that has sheltered generations from the cold, a space that has been thoroughly saturated with prayers, with family, and with grace. From the main room down the hall, you hear the slow, rhythmic heartbeat of the grandfather clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It is deep. It is unhurried. It is the sound of time passing, not in a frantic rush, but in a measured, peaceful flow. You do not need to race against this clock. You do not need to beat the sun. Time is in God's hands, and right now, He has paused the demands of time just for you. Tick, tock. With every tick of the clock, allow your physical body to sink one fraction of an inch deeper into the mattress. Tick, your heavy head sinks into the feather pillow. Tock, your shoulders melt into the sheets. Tick, your spine releases its final hold. Tock, your legs become entirely weightless. You are drifting. You are floating on a dark, peaceful river of sound. The wind returns, sweeping over the roof with a long, drawn-out whoosh. It rattles the old multi-paned window frame in your bedroom just slightly, a soft, rapid clatter, clatter, clatter of glass and wood. But the cold stays outside, the warmth stays inside. I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Let this truth be the anchor for your drifting mind. The symphony of the night is playing exclusively for you. The rushing wind, the rhythmic crickets, the calling owl, and the settling house, they are all instruments in the hands of the Father, playing a masterpiece of perfect peace. There is nothing left to hold on to. There is no more thinking required. Your mind is beautifully blank, swept clean by the wind, washed by the steady rhythm of the night. You are wrapped in the thick, heavy quilts. You are wrapped in the profound darkness. You are wrapped in the everlasting, unconditional love of the Creator. Let the symphony carry you away. Shh. Tick, tock. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Shh. Sink deeper. Let go. Surrender to the heavy, beautiful gravity of rest. The music of the night will play on, standing guard over your spirit, while you journey deeply into the restorative, sacred sanctuary of sleep. The grand nocturnal symphony of the antique farm, the sweeping wind, the rhythmic crickets, the distant owl, and the gentle settling of the old wooden house begins to slowly, beautifully recede. You are not pushing the sounds away. Rather, you are sinking so deeply into the profound quiet of your own spirit that the external world simply fades into a soft, distant hum. The physical boundaries of the dark bedroom, the walls, the ceiling, the floor beneath you, they all dissolve into the vast, protective ocean of the night. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing left to hear. There is only this singular, perfect moment of absolute rest. Your body is entirely surrendered. The heavy, handmade quilts resting over you feel less like fabric and more like a physical manifestation of God's grace. A thick, weighted blanket of peace pressing down gently on your tired frame, holding you completely secure. You cannot tell where your body ends and the soft, yielding mattress begins. Every muscle, every tendon, every exhausted bone has yielded to the heavy, comforting pull of gravity. heavy, so incredibly heavy, sinking deeper and deeper. As you sink into the mattress, allow your spiritual imagination to grasp a beautiful, ancient truth. In the book of Deuteronomy, there is a magnificent promise spoken over the people of God. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Think about that word, underneath. No matter how deeply you sink into sleep tonight, no matter how heavy your body feels, or how far your mind drifts into the subconscious dark, you can never fall out of his grasp. Underneath your physical bed, underneath the foundation of this old farmhouse, underneath the very crust of the earth itself, are the massive, unshakable, everlasting arms of the Father. He is holding you. He is cradling you in the hollow of his hand. Imagine those arms right now. They are the arms that flung the stars into the brilliant indigo sky. They are the arms that carved the deep valleys and raised the ancient mountains. They are the same gentle arms that reached down to wash the dusty feet of the disciples, and the same arms that were stretched wide open on the cross to secure your eternal peace. Let yourself fall completely into that embrace. You do not need to hold yourself up anymore. You do not need to maintain your guard. The watchman is awake, so you are entirely free to sleep. Inhale the stillness. Exhale your absolute surrender. Your mind is now as still and clear as a glass-like pond hidden deep within the whispering woods. Earlier today, the winds of anxiety and the busy tasks of life blew across the surface, creating ripples and waves. But now, the wind has completely died down. The surface is perfectly smooth. It reflects nothing but the quiet, deep, starry peace of the heavens above. If a stray thought attempts to enter your mind, a fleeting worry about tomorrow or a lingering memory from today, do not fight it. Do not give it your energy. Simply watch it form like a tiny, pale cloud in your tranquil sky, and let the gentle breath of the Holy Spirit blow it effortlessly away. Let it drift. Let it fade. Return to the quiet. You are a beloved child, completely safe in your Father's house. You have walked through the apple orchard and gathered the harvest of his blessings. You have stood before the golden wheat fields and witnessed his abundant provision. You have sat by the roaring hearth and felt the warmth of his abiding presence. You have listened to the gentle rain of his mercy, washing your spirit completely clean. The day is done. The work is finished. It is time to close the book on today. As you drift further down into the velvet darkness, receive this final, quiet blessing over your resting spirit. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. You are covered by the blood of the Lamb. You are sealed by the Holy Spirit. No weapon formed against your mind tonight will prosper. No fear can dwell in the space that is currently filled by his perfect love. The angels of the Lord are encamped around this house, standing silent guard in the autumn night. Your breathing is so slow now. It is a shallow, rhythmic tide. In, out, rise, fall. With every breath, you are sinking deeper into the everlasting arms. The world is entirely silent. The darkness is a soft, comforting friend. Your heart beats with a slow, steady rhythm of grace. Peace. Perfect peace. There is only the warmth. There is only the safety. There is only the love. Rest your weary head. Close your spirit to the waking world. Let the gentle tide of sleep carry you away, deeply loved, completely forgiven, perfectly safe. Sleep now. Sleep in the shadow of his wings. Sleep in his eternal embrace. Rest. Let go. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.